Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
The ball is Mills on the right side on the hash mark to Del Pino. Comes left, comes right. Pass deflected by Frager. He retrieves it. Frager against Del Pino. Puts it up high off the window. Got it. Oh, circus finish. High off that window. Pump fake, step in, long three. David Coit, no good. Rebound, Hoiberg. Huskers with a chance to tie it with a 2. Take the lead with a 3. Hoiberg up top left to Mast. Coming to the right. One arms the pass. Shot by Price. Got it! Bang! Bang, 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 a ring.
What a exciting and humbling place for me to be in growing up here. Being able to give back to this university, and something that I think directly applies to me is a quote I saw a couple weeks ago, and it was, when you're motivated by something you deeply care about, you're motivated by purpose, not by circumstance. And I think that encapsulates me being here today, and just really, really excited about the opportunity, how Coach Rule has this place set up, the emphasis on special teams, and get this place to be in the best in the country.
Good morning. Welcome in to Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi here at Hurrdat Sports headquarters. What's up, DB?
How are we doing?
Good. How's the elbow? You all right? You're doing a little...
Yeah, it's tender.
Got a little tennis elbow?
I don't know what it is.
No?
Yeah, just this old, man.
Sometimes I just sleep on it wrong and then wake up, feels terrible.
Old age for you, boy.
Well, it's not your birthday yet. You're not old.
Oh, no, I'm old.
I am old.
I am old. Wait, am I getting volume out of both sides of my ears?
I'm not, but that's okay.
Yep, take that back. I'm not either. It's worth a shot.
It's all right. As long as we got the one ear, we're good.
It's all right to cry.
Oh, I thought you were going to go Kendrick on
Crying brings the sad out of you. I think that, Shane, is that Rosie Greer? Is that Big Rosie?
I'm going to be honest. It sounded a little like Sesame Street.
Well, I think it was along those lines.
What, Rosie from the Rams?
Yeah.
Oh, it could be.
Rosie the Riveter?
I'm pretty sure. Now I just see, sometimes I just say things and it's like, it's Rosie Greer. It's all right to cry. You've never heard him do that song?
No, I haven't. Wait,
Yeah.
Rosie's a dude? You should never heard him do that?
Yes.
I assume Rose, not judging. I just, my mom's name is Rose, so I thought Rosie was a lady's name.
I'm pretty sure it's all right to cry.
That's different.
Oh yeah, that's Big Rosie.
Rosie Greer?
Look, it's really old. Like really old.
Oh, that's a fella, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. I can't believe you've never heard that song.
Is Rosie like a nickname or his government?
That's his government.
Well, are you sure?
Oh my gosh.
We're gonna Google Rosie Greer here.
Pretty good football player. Yeah, it's Rosey. Rosie Greer.
Wait, so okay. I love it when Google gives me like the description of what they are.
Yeah.
And his says American former football player. Makes sense. And I thought it was going to say singer because you have the song.
Yeah.
And bodyguard.
That was the whole point of the thing, because he's a big tough guy and he was combating toxic masculinity before it was a buzzword.
All right. So
I can't believe Shane, have you heard that?
I've heard of Rose. I mean, I know who Rosie Greer is.
His government is Roosevelt.
Yeah.
So Rosie is a nickname.
Rosie's his name.
It's a nickname. Like, it's not like his parents wrote on the birth certificate, Rosey.
Oh, man.
Greer. That's what government name means.
What is it? So is Ravi yours, or is it Ravi Shikala, or what is it?
No, that's the full one. Everybody thinks it's longer. It's not. It's just Ravi.
I'm just asking the question.
So like my brother's name is Rajesh.
Yes.
But he goes by Raj. That would be a nickname.
Oh.
Because his government is Rajesh.
All right.
You see? It's like Roosevelt and Rosie.
Sure. Is that your story and you're sticking to it?
100%. Like your government name is not DB.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
So it says, his Wikipedia, this is the first line of his Wikipedia. This is incredible.
I can't.
Roosevelt Rosie Greer is an American former football player, bodyguard, actor, singer, Protestant minister, fiber artist, which I don't even know what that is, and motivational speaker.
Yeah. Why is it so bright in here? Can somebody help me? Can we dim the goddamn lights? We better try to meet me halfway because I'll turn the whole things around.
Meet me halfway.
Like I'll have them facing that way.
Where's the foul?
It's like, why is it so light in here?
Our guy. Go ahead.
Even the stream agrees.
Our guy Kent is less discerning with the bangs than Mike Breen is.
Bang!
He hit like 8 of them in a row in the intro.
Yeah, I know. He's
Bang, bang, bang.
They needed.
He sounded like he played for the Houston Astros out there.
They had to. That's not funny.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, that's. I don't know if you know, but Astros beat the Dodgers in the World Series.
I'm aware they beat the Red Sox in the ALCS.
Yeah, so
I was there. I remember.
I don't find any humor in your Astros jokes.
Well, it's funny because they got caught, and now they're the shame of the league. So now we can enjoy
And
it.
somehow they're still good every goddamn year.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think the trash cans were entirely responsible. They had good players.
Yeah,
Like, it's not a bad roster.
that's a fair to Midland point.
Well,
Maybe.
Like Midland, Texas.
How many bangs did we? What was the line last night?
15.5 going in.
Oh, so that's a no cover.
Yeah, they did not cover it. They just decided to fool around for about 30 minutes.
No, it wasn't that long. Did you see who made a 3 though?
Who else made a 3? I know Frager made 3 for 9. Sanford went 3 for 11.
11.
Your boy. He's your boy.
It's not my boy.
J. Rod Garcia.
Yeah, so he was 1 of 1, right? With the triple.
Yeah, now he's made 7 on the year.
And still -1 and plus minus.
He's got almost as many 3-pointers this season as Darren Peterson has assists in the last month and a half.
Do you know how many players were minus in Nebraska's plus minus?
So Garcia probably
These
would have
lights aren't
been.
really killing me.
Garcia would have been. Who else? I'm gonna guess 3.
There were 2.
Okay.
Who's the other one?
Oh,
I feel like
it's
this
got to be
what
somebody.
an interrogation room would feel like.
I think it's a little more hostile. They're smaller. Usually, there's a officer of the law of some kind.
Yeah, and then over time you just relent because the lights get on your nerves.
Maybe.
You're like, oh my gosh, can I get a drink? Do those tricks work? You know, where they just like open a can and they drink it in front of you? Would you like anything to drink?
Knock on wood, haven't been interrogated yet, so hopefully I don't have to find out anytime soon.
Who was the other minus?
So it's got to be somebody that didn't close the game. Was it Rink?
It is BRK.
Oh, Barricade Buchen Joe.
Oh, you didn't know?
Not according to KP, but yes, it is Buchen Joe.
What was his -1?
No, he's -4. He led the way in minus.
Oh, there you go. Come on, Barricade. What are we doing?
Yeah. Everybody else. Would you like to guess who led Nebraska in plus minus? Keep in mind, I'm doing a bit here because you know how much I don't think plus minus is the end all be all, but it is it's an okay barometer.
I think it's a better barometer over a longer period of time, but let's say Sammy Hoiberg.
That is incorrect.
Was it one Braden Frager?
That is correct.
Yeah.
How about that?
He had a nice game.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
I mean, we got
I said that to Sif
a
yesterday.
faux pipe right there.
Yeah. I don't know about the 9 threes, but
it was a little aggressive, I thought maybe. He hit too early and then
yep, you knew it was going to be on and popping.
You're like, man, I hope he actually is hot and doesn't just think he is.
No.
What was it? 6 of his 7 misses were from 3?
Yeah.
It's not ideal. It's a good game though. I like the 8 rebounds.
That was so I talked to Shafe about that
Mhm.
on his pod, and I was like, until he starts doing those things, he may struggle a little bit with having a good plus minus.
Mhm.
And right on cue.
Yeah, last couple games he's rebounded well.
Yeah, when he finds ways to be involved outside of just scoring the basketball. I'm trying to figure out why he's staring at me. What are you looking at, little face?
Trying to figure that out myself.
So, do I look translucent? A little Caspery, a little pasty, like the gangsta.
Pasty? Is
Yeah.
that a gangster name?
Pasty
I thought
gangster.
it was Patsy.
No, like Klein?
That was weird.
Yeah.
We shouldn't do that anymore.
No. We actually we can't even see my heads.
Who do we got here?
If you miss this one,
we've got one.
you should get it right half the time.
Michael Severe.
That's your clue.
That's not true. I should get Carter Nelson right all the time, and I didn't.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We got Michael Severe here, and then
Suave.
we've got.
I thought he wasn't feeling well. He still got jokey jokes.
We've got one Mr. T.O. over there.
That is Thomas Osborneo.
Yeah. Is that his government? Osborneo?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
This is a big.
Maybe in a different language.
I wonder what
I talked to Sip, so it made me think of it.
Wonder what Tom Osborne's little bio thing says. Oh, it doesn't include congressman on there. It just says
Austin is a child.
American former player and coach. It does not include his political career.
It was just one lick on an ankle.
Do you think he does his own wiki?
He probably doesn't know what a wiki is, if I had to guess.
Wow. I think you're selling him short.
Do you think so? You think he's like super internet literate?
Yeah, probably better than we think.
I'm just assuming most people that age are not.
Wow.
Because he's pushing 90, right? He's close.
Let's
89?
see. My dad would have been, yeah. And he just had his birthday.
So I mean, I don't expect most 89-year-olds to be like super internet literate. That's not a Tom Osborne problem. It's an age gap.
I got you.
It's got it, and Dr. Tom, excuse me. I said Mr. I apologize. I don't want to take any degrees away.
Who said
him,
that, Cooch?
No, yeah, he did.
Yeah, he's got to
stay
he's all about correcting people.
Yeah, I'm not about accuracy or information.
Some people are just like that. They don't say anything nice. They don't say, "Hey, nice job," or it's like, "Oh, you said that wrong," or "That's not." It's like, okay,
you know some people like that.
Yes. Yes, I do. Unfortunately, yeah, I do. It's very discouraging. You could say some of the nicest things ever, and it's like,
Where's the foul?
Pick at it. All right, I won't say anything. How does that go? You know what I thought that said?
What?
I thought it said dank, but it doesn't. It looks like DANK on that ball.
Oh no, it says Ravi. Bottom there.
Up so far off.
I mean, I could see how the like A,
it almost
and
looks
it could look like
Dave.
an N. Yeah, I was a child when I wrote this, so it might not be,
Yeah, back in the day when people wrote their names on basketball.
Oh yeah, we got the Lula here too. So we got Ravi and then Lula. I don't know if you can see it.
That looks like what kind of hide is that?
I think this is genuine leather because they didn't have synthetic leather.
Is that velvet?
I don't think they had synthetic leather in the 60s when this ball was made.
Yeah, that is
it's even, it's funny. So that is
a really old ball.
This is the high school my mom went to, YJB.
What's the acronym? What's it stand for?
Yale Jamaica Bagley. It was a consolidated school.
Jamaica?
Yeah, there's a place in Iowa called Jamaica.
The irony.
Not a lot of Jamaicans in Jamaica, Iowa. Not in the traditional sense.
I think I have a few questions for Rose.
To be fair, probably not a lot of people that could have got into Yale in that high school either.
Wow. Yale, Jamaica, what?
Bagley,
as in Marvin.
Yeah, Bagley was the town my mom grew up in.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the YJB. Yale, Jamaica, Bagley.
We're consolidating schools even then.
Back in the day. I mean, I think Bagley had 300 people when my mom was growing up in it, so it was hard to have enough kids for a high school.
Yeah. Put that ball back. You're making me nervous.
You want to shoot some hoops?
No,
pump fake.
It's incredibly hot in here.
Is this so? Hold on, I got to do some foul baiting so I can recreate the Creighton game last night. Give me a second. You ready? Just
wow.
Just jumping. No, just jumping it. No.
I was happy at least that Jacob Padilla could find some humor. It was a very weird pull.
You didn't think he was going to be able to find any humor in that?
No, that was
tough.
That's another horrific loss.
Yeah, getting swept by DePaul is
that is incredible.
That's a tough look. That is a tough look.
A-Train. I am gonna need some damn sunscreen. And I attract light.
Yeah.
Because
you've got a bright soul.
No.
Oh, I thought like metaphorically you attract the light around you.
No.
Oh, okay.
I see we're not going to be too good of friends this morning.
I thought that was a really nice thing to say.
I didn't detect an ounce of sincerity.
That's
not a microfiber.
To be fair, that's sort of just how I talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of things that I mean that I don't sound like I mean.
That much is true. Do you know, I saw an interesting stat last night because I'm always talking, or at least these last 3 weeks, about Nebraska getting vertical and getting downhill.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many layup attempts they had last night?
Ooh.
Like actual layups.
Like honest
they
to God
were
layup
53 attempts? Field goal attempts. And you know that 29 of them were from 3.
Yeah, so it only leaves me 24 possible left. I remember a few when they kind of started to make their run. They got it out in transition a little bit. You had the Frager dunk off of the Sam Hoiberg steal. I don't know, like 6?
Absolutely not. They had 15 layups. Of those 15, how many did they make?
So 15 of their 23 2-pointers were layups.
It's an incredible juxtaposition.
That is
it's
not
mind.
that,
That's why we're talking.
That
about
is
it.
not how that watched to me at all.
That's why we're having this conversation.
4, 6, 8, 12.
I'm guessing. I think I'm getting all the Creighton missed game-winning layups in my head, so I'm having a hard time differentiating.
11 of 15.
11 of that's pretty good.
It's way good.
I can't believe
10, 11, 12.
The shocking stat of the moan and
15 of their 24 2-point attempts were layups.
11 of 15.
That'll work most of the time.
Yeah.
Now 10 of 29 isn't going to work a lot of the time, but
no. You know, did it seem like they had good game control?
No.
It didn't?
Not, I mean, again, that's why I kind of made the joke about 30 minutes, because it didn't seem like they really. So I thought they got
of a 40-minute game.
Yeah.
How long do you think they trailed?
Not as long as it seemed, because they had the lead in the 20s for a little bit there. They had the spurt at the end of the half, and then Maryland didn't take the lead back until like 15-ish, I want to say. So they probably led.
It's a little Shane-ish.
25 minutes.
And Nebraska only trailed 10 minutes and 30 seconds of that game.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Is it? That's
so I'm
not what you thought, huh?
I probably am putting it in comparison to how I thought that game should have gone.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Yeah.
So when I think of game control, it's like they probably should have been up by 3-4 possessions most of that game, and they weren't.
It was just interesting too, listening to Coach Hoiberg's presser before the game. You know, he's like, hey, you know, Maryland's playing some pretty good basketball. They've won 3 out of their last 5. I mean, it was just a weird. Hitting 60% isn't a glowing stat but that's how far Maryland has come, right? But again, they lose by double digits. But that team had been getting blown out a good chunk of this year.
Yeah,
I mean, they've had some horrific. I mean, they're not Notre Dame by any stretch. Oh my gosh.
Or St. John's, apparently.
Dude, Shrews has got to be out.
I would think. I mean, this is 3 years, right?
Yeah,
and it's been bad, like bad.
And he had the little meltdown. Yeah, they're gonna be looking for.
It was kind of a weird hire, anyway.
Shrews?
Yeah, like he was okay at Penn State. He wasn't crazy.
No, I hear you.
I guess it's kind of a weird.
They like that. That got removed from the quad box.
Oh yeah,
that doesn't happen. Usually
you don't get the boot that often.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
not unless there's something else I want to watch. That just was like, yeah, I'm good.
I'm quick to boot just to get fewer things on the screen. If someone's like, hey, this is not
sound like Zoe.
If I can't learn from this anymore, like you're getting the boot.
Really?
Yeah, just getting out of there.
Maybe that's
UConn St. John's got the boot pretty early.
So who the heck is St. John?
I don't know. I don't know how you can I don't know how you even do you just have to toss that performance out? Like, what do you do with that?
I don't know. Sometimes they look pretty bad, though.
I agree.
I mean, earlier in the year, they couldn't throw it in the ocean. Then they hit that kind of pre-midway stretch where it was like, oh, they figured out their offense. But, I mean, that was
– I don't know. They have not figured out their offense.
He's going to get it up on the glass?
I guess, but that's not – I mean, I don't think that's sustainable. Is it?
No.
Not against better team. I mean, what they have? They had like the 10, 12 game winning streak or whatever.
10, 12, 11.
But
18, 34.
I don't know, man. They offensively, it's one of the worst offensive stretches I've seen from what they missed 24 shots in a row?
Yeah, in a row.
Like that's
I know
biblical levels of ineptitude.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess if you could put 5 Shanes out there against a couple of UConn players, this dude is not gonna miss 24 in a row.
No. You could legitimately put the 5 people in the office right now out on the floor against UConn. We wouldn't miss 24 in a row.
And we're not getting any shots off. You said all 5. I remember the key thing with Shane is there's a couple of UConn players. We're not scoring if there's 5.
Oh, I'm good off the bench.
I just assumed Sasha was going to hockey check some people and clear the way a little bit. I'm saying we could.
I'm lethal from the outside. Hashtag Caucasoid.
We could legit just pull up from half court 24 times.
It's not going in.
We're making one of them.
No, we're not.
If you give me 24 shots from half court, I'll make one of them today.
Not with any sort of defense.
They're not guarding us from half court.
They could just run at you. Some of the closeouts I saw last night.
This is just blind close.
Caption that. Like, what was TV doing now? Yeah, that's like sometimes I was asking Nick, and I think he missed it. I could have framed the question better about their offense.
St. John's.
Yeah, because he went into their defense in terms of knowing what you're going to get, but that's what they do on offense. And somehow they find a way to make it work for them.
Just bad sometimes.
24 in a row. Oh, hey, there's the guy that can jump. Jimmy Neutron.
No, I thought he was a shooter.
He said he was a shooter.
I was like, what did he say?
How about my day being still relatively okay, even though I didn't get to see Rico early?
Rico says he's a half-court demon.
Oh, geez. Rico's little, though. He's very little.
He says, I'm only counting on Rico and DB to put up points. Alex, you don't even know.
Nah, A-Train, I'm going to get buckets. I'm going to be throwing that thing. Make it rain! I'm that dude.
Just good.
JD, we've got Husker wrestling next week to preview Big Ten tournament.
Got Shane Kuzi Schillerberg as well.
Yeah. I bet Shane dribbles with his head down.
Oh, yeah. He probably looks like Stanley from The Office.
That's kind of funny during that segment. Like they're expecting him to be good.
And of course, Stanley. What do you mean, of course?
That's fine.
Jim had game, though.
Oscar, we'll use your talents during baseball season.
I'm open.
Yeah, Jim was a bucket.
Yeah, Jim he was trying to get, that's back when he was trying to get his girl.
I know. Yeah, you got to show off on the
She didn't know who to cheer for.
conflicted.
Yeah. Go warehouse guys. Wait, that's my Jim. Oh, he's not my Jim yet. She walked on hot coals for that dude. He's pretty devoted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a big office guy.
No, huge office guy.
Oh, I found another Shane. I have another anti-hero.
Anti-hero?
Yes.
It's not like antifreeze.
Aunt Jemima, these things in your mouth. I am
really more of a Mrs. Buttersworth guy.
Of course you are. Of
What's
course. Makes a lot of sense. That's the least surprising thing you said this morning. I knew you'd take old Buttersworth over Jemima. It's fine. You haven't seen the show, though.
Which one?
There's no way. It's a little too gritty for you.
Which one?
But I'm a big Jax Teller fan. Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, I've seen like 3 seasons of that.
What, did you watch it on TikTok?
I watched it when it came out, like when it was coming out,
He might be my favorite.
like back in the day.
He's up there.
Yeah.
Of guys in series. If we're drafting anti-heroes.
Yeah. I'm taking Shelby over Jax.
So I went down a very horrible road with one. I forgot his name just now. Peaky Blinders.
Oh, Thomas Shelby.
His real name.
Oh, Cillian Murphy.
Yes. Cillian Murphy has played in some strange movies.
He has, yeah.
Got a lot of range.
Yeah, I didn't know that he was British until.
Really? With a name like Cillian?
Well, I didn't know his name at first, but when he was in the Batman movie with Scarecrow, that's the first time I remember seeing him. I didn't realize he was British.
Yeah. He played a bank exec in a particular movie where he had like two. Sometimes he was a woman, sometimes he was himself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I went down the Cillian Murphy rabbit hole yesterday. I don't know.
Willem Dafoe in the Irish Brothers movie. What's the ones where they're like vigilantes? You know what I'm talking about?
Were they hooligans?
Oh no, not Green Street Hooligans. Oh, that's a good movie though.
I haven't sat through that.
What movie am I thinking of?
Boondock
Saints. Thank you. Yeah, in Boondock Saints, Willem Dafoe.
Oh, she's here. She would be good at this.
Oh yeah,
she's a little movie head.
I could tell that she knew the name of it and was yelling at Shane while
she's like chomping at the bit.
She's like, "It's Boondock Saints, idiot!"
Like if we picked teams for like trivia, would you? It's like pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
Would you take Shane or Sasha?
Ooh, so they'd actually both be very good.
I know it's tough.
They both also cover areas that I'm not good at.
Yeah.
So that's tough.
Hence the question.
I think I'm taking Sasha because I don't know if Shane's as good at movies.
Well, you're mean to Shane.
No, Shane's got the music.
Shane's an old head, though.
But I think Sasha's got the more like mainstream movies. I feel like Shane's movies are more like comic book related.
That's fine. I'll take
that
Shane.
Kind of
I'll
stuff.
take Shane. We'd go back to like 1960.
And don't sell me short there, Ravi.
It's hard not to, bud.
I wish you'd put your hat on. Speaking of, like, why is it crooked? You look like you've done time.
I have.
Well, I'm not one to talk. So
Exactly.
It's just overnight. It's fine. It's a misunderstanding both times.
Not gonna say anything. If we got like horror movies or something, though, Sasha would clean up.
Oh, she's a big slasher movie?
Oh yeah. If we got anything like heavy metal, horror movies, anything like that, like she would eat.
Can I ask a weird question before we get back to 11 and 15 and getting layups?
Yeah.
Why is it Scream 7? There haven't been 6 Screams.
That would be my guess.
Have there?
There's a lot of them.
She's like nodding.
Yeah.
I feel like you're not really wanting to say yes. There's been 6 Screams?
The internet seems to think so, yes. They really started banging them out the last few years.
Man.
We were at Scream 1 and 2, 96, 97. We waited till
There's been 6 of those horrible movies?
We waited till 2000 for Scream 3. Then
Hello, Sydney.
11-year gap. Got Scream 4 in 2011.
Oh boy.
Another 11-year gap. We got Scream 5 in 2022, then 6 in 2023, and 7 this year.
Has What's Her Buckets been in all of them? Really?
Nev?
Yeah. That's her name, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Nev Campbell.
She doesn't have like a lot else going on.
Wow.
Like that's like asking. I mean, I know Vin Diesel skipped Tokyo Drift, but like, it's not like Vin's door is getting pounded down.
No, he was in the end of it.
Oh, that's right, he was.
See, that's why he would be on my team. Right there. Air high five, little dude.
You almost like you're doing the.
Oh, by the way, I saw my pituitary dwarfism friend at wrestling. JD.
Okay.
Yeah, he looked fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just one great big muscle. Just kind of weird. Sweatshirt was screaming for help. What?
Just get me out of here.
No, he saw me from across the way. It was kind of funny.
No, Alex, Scream 6 came out in 2023.
I don't know where I've been. So I'll give that to Team Sash. I'm not a horror movie guy.
That's what I meant.
They don't make them very good.
So Kel Jam is correct. He wasn't in Too Fast, Too Furious. He was in the end of Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, KJ will get you.
Yeah.
Leave
so he
him.
did miss one.
Leave him alone.
But I'm just saying, it'd be like Nev Campbell being like, "No, I got lots of other stuff to do." Vin Diesel's not turning down the call from the Fast and Furious directors. You know what I mean?
Sasha, just a heads up. I'm going to need you to grab some headsets
Well, they're
where I
his
can
movies.
hear you. Can Sasha talk to us just like a regular person? So, what's like the good horror series? Because there's a lot of terrible ones. I've tried them all. I've tried a lot of them. Like, what's a
Have
good
you guys
series?
seen well, this is like straight up just gory for the sake of being gory, but the Art the Clown series, there's like 3 of them now.
Is it the black and white face guy?
Yes.
I mean, I thought those were like low budget. Those are real deals. When they come across
it's Terrifier. And the first one was low budget as hell, but people loved it so much that it's like harkening back to like 80s slasher films, but next level because it's 2026.
I am aware. I am aware. That's interesting. I'm like, that would be something I would come back and watch, and I'd tell you guys and you'd make fun of me, but apparently it's cool. Why can't I get on the right side?
You can do it.
Go. You can get on the right side of being cool. Go. I believe in you.
Yeah, I have no idea what the horror movies
Give me
are.
another one. The Conjuring series is supposed to be good, right?
It's okay. Like the first few, I think there's like 5 of those now too.
Man.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
Why
Saw
are we
isn't
doing
bad. The first few of those aren't bad.
Saw
There's like 10 of those now, isn't there?
Yeah.
Saw was sensational.
The little
first
guy on the
2.
trike.
Yeah, Saw was amazing.
I'll say I heard the first ones are good. I'm not
Some
watching
of those
any of that.
ingenious. Those traps were amazing.
You admire the process of Jigsaw?
I
and the traps?
appreciate that. No, we're not done yet, Sasha. Stop trying to give away the headphones. I need another good one. People like The Conjuring.
There's a lot of them. That's the one thing about horror franchises, though, is like if people like them, they will pump those things out.
But there's like a ton of spin-offs too. So like you have the Conjuring series, but then you have Annabelle, which is just on the doll, and that has a couple movies in it.
Oh, that's where she came from?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the movie came from, there's like an actual doll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not buying that.
And the Conjuring
She
series
looks
focuses
creepy.
on, and I can't think of their names right now, but in the 80s, they're the people that like went into
the
Amityville horror
husband
house.
and wife
Yeah.
like team that go, and it's like, oh, what is their names? Lorraine?
Yeah.
Lorraine's the
Is
wife,
it safe
right?
to say that horror films aren't better now than they were? Is that one thing that didn't get better over time, or are they?
I think it depends on genre of horror movie, because the psychological horror movies I think have gotten better and more screwed up, I guess.
I watched a fantastic series called The House on Haunting Hill.
Yeah, that's really good.
That was
The car scene
it was amazing.
is the first time I've ever jumped during a TV series.
It's like 8 or 9 episodes, maybe 10. It's sensational.
Ed and Lorraine Warren.
There you go.
Thank you, Funky.
Oh, Jibs is on it.
Yep.
All right, so is that it for horrors? Sasha?
Yeah. Somebody said Quiet Place is good. There's a couple of those. I like the second one.
Wait, that's
too.
not a horror. That's really good. That's with my man Jim
Krasinski.
Yeah, him.
John
John.
Krasinski.
John,
is
Jim.
his name in the
Jingleheimer Smith.
and his wife is in that.
Which one's his wife?
Emily
the main
Blunt.
character.
Oh, that's his wife?
Yeah.
Well, that'd be cool. That way you don't have to feel weirded out about babies in bathtubs and stuff. It's like your real wife.
Yeah.
Well,
I haven't seen it, so it just sounds really funny to me. You know, I feel
as
weird
if we're-
about
what? We're
babies
just not
in
on my couch
bathtubs.
having conversations. What is
We
this
are.
thing on?
We are. Hello?
I like Quiet Place. I liked it a lot. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Is that like, I would say, would you consider that like a horror movie? I thought it was more like a suspense.
I do like the sci-fi stuff like that. Even though I tried to watch The Gorge and it really pissed me off. 'cause
Oh,
it
I
was
saw a
pretty-
bunch of those TikToks on the Gorge.
Yeah, I
felt like I got
I
the
was
gist of it.
riveted, and then I was like, golly, I'm just gonna have to gut this out.
If you like psychological stuff,
I do.
Infinity Pool is really, really good. It's weird and it takes a second to get going, but it's got Alexander Skarsgård in it. The front cover of the movie looks messed up, but like that's the only time you see that specific scene in the movie, but it's kind of
Infinity what?
Infinity Pool.
Okay.
It's really
Alright.
good.
It's like one of those pools you get in your house, you just keep swimming, but it's like little. You know what I mean? That's what an infinity pool is.
Are you being serious?
It is. That's what they call them. Have you seen those?
Yeah, I know what they are. I just want to see you paddle like you have little arms again.
I think Rowdy Gaines used to try and sell them on my infomercials.
Wow. All right. I'm yeah, Quiet Place was legit.
Is it Rowdy Gaines? Is that the right name? Is that the swimmer?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Kobe. I like intense, but I don't not a big jump scare guy. Like that's not my thing.
Mm.
And they never kill people right either. It's like I don't mean right, but it's like fakey.
Please
No,
elaborate.
that's it.
What do you mean by right? You mean like unrealistically, or like
just
not how you would do it?
I see what you're trying to do there, and that's not gonna work.
I'm just curious.
Just no.
Like they're using like serrated edges, and that's not clean enough for you, or like what's?
Okay, that was off air.
You didn't. You just told on yourself. I could have just been making that up.
It was oddly specific. We have a pretty smart streaming group. I don't know. Never mind. I'm not. Nope. Said too much.
Do they not kill people right, or do they not kill the right people? Because that's why you like Dexter, right? Because he kills the right people.
And it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know, like the methodology. I don't know. I'm not. That's all I'm going to elaborate on. It's just sometimes in those slasher movies, it's like, oh, I'm hiding under the bed, and then like a knife goes through the mattress. Like that's kind of dumb.
Yeah, you're probably not getting the kill that way.
You know what I mean? It's like
mattresses are pretty thick. You know what I mean? Like that have to be a big knife.
I feel like you're kind of low key making fun.
No,
of me.
I'm serious. Like that is a dumb way. Like I don't watch horror movies, so I don't know if that's a real thing or not. If you just made that up, but you don't. I mean, you're talking like a full ass sword at that point to like get it through a mattress. And what if they got a box spring, man? Like that's a long sword too. We're not talking about like a dagger.
So my favorite kinds are like of movies are like those. I like suspense. Like what?
I'll tell you later.
What I do?
No, it says Kobe said, "Did DB just soft launch that he's a murderer?" So you like suspense, but not like slashers.
Yeah,
the blood's not. You like the.
I don't know what the genre is, but I think on Netflix it would be like psychological dramas,
like Mindhunter.
Yes, that's a fantastic series.
Yeah. So you're into like the thought process, the psychology, the suspense, the thriller.
I told you I'm watching right now Saltmarsh.
Oh yeah.
Which I don't know, it's moving kind of slow, but I like the Riley chick in there that played Beth Dutton.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
And what else? Castle Rock I'm watching, which isn't gonna make the cut. It's not as good as I thought. I don't psychological thrillers. Thanks, KJ.
That's the horror one, right? Castle Rock, kind of.
I mean, kinda.
Is that the one that's a prison?
Have you ever seen Devil in Ohio?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not Warm Fuzzies.
It's not. Doesn't have to be warm.
She raised a nice boy. You're such a nice boy.
Doesn't have to be Warm Fuzzies, but I'm not watching horror movies.
Yeah. Back-to-back episodes, 2 of the saddest movies of all time. Would you like to know what they are that will never get watched twice?
Go ahead.
Pursuit of Happiness.
That was one I was going to say.
And 7 Pounds.
I was good. Those were literally the 2 movies I was going to say. 7 Pounds was way worse.
The first time I saw it, I was in the theater, and I was like, "It is that is the most amazing." Like I don't even like Woody Harrelson, but I think I cried
for 7 Pounds.
Yeah,
that movie was like stunning. Like it was really good, but it was so heavy.
Yeah, I was floored, and I was like, "Is anything good ever going to happen?"
Nope.
But the end was pretty good.
So this is actually a really good example. That's sort of like your good piece of cheese thing. But with both those movies, they're really well made. They're good movies.
It's just too hard to get through.
But that's my point. Is like Pursuit of Happiness is, hey, I'm just gonna watch this guy struggle and get crapped on for 2 hours, and then for 2 minutes at the end, here you go. Like, no, I'm good. Like, I don't need to watch that for 2 hours. Same thing with 7 Pounds. 7 Pounds is just like gut punch after gut punch after gut punch, and then oh yeah, but he saved all these people at the end. Isn't that cool? It's like, no, that's awful.
Gosh, she like looks in Woody Harrelson's eyes, and I was like, oh geez, that's deep.
Yeah, it was rough. That was a tough hang.
Both Will Smith movies.
I know. That's when he was in Oscar hunting mode.
Well, and then he made the other one too, where you didn't know if he was alive or dead. He had like the goals. He was like an ad exec or something. I don't
remember that
one. And I think he's like talking to dead people. I can't remember the name of the movie.
I feel like I've seen most Will Smith movies.
Oh yeah, $1 Million Baby, definitely only once.
Oh yeah,
dude, I was so shook by that too because I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, if it hadn't been spoiled for you,
I was like, "Who? That's what we're doing with this show."
All
No
right,
way.
so we're in 7 pounds.
Yeah, give me the run.
All right, let's see here. So
Well, he had
after,
a bad run there for a little bit.
he had a bad run after he took his like sabbatical to help his kids' careers out.
And then Jaden ended up going crazy.
Yeah.
At least temporarily.
Let's
I don't
see.
think that's not a clinical term.
iRobot, no.
No,
Shark Tale,
iRobot
Hitch,
was fantastic.
Pursuit of Happiness, I Am Legend, Hancock, 7 pounds, After Earth, Winter's Tale, Focus, Concussion, Suicide Squad, Collateral Beauty, Bright.
Collateral Beauty.
Collateral Beauty.
What's Collateral Beauty about? I think it's Collateral Beauty.
Let's see. Story follows Howard Inlet, successful New York advertising exec who suffers a great tragedy and retreats from life.
It's very sad.
I have never seen that one.
Yeah,
That's one of the few.
It's kind of deep too, but yeah, Hancock was. I bet I've seen Hancock 7 times.
It's
maybe
a better movie than people get credit for.
Oh, it's a
pretty good movie.
Yeah, that's a good show.
It was a little bit of a weird twist at the end with the Charlize Theron part.
I'm not she rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah, you just don't like her. No, I like Hancock though. It's a good movie.
Maybe it was the whole monster thing, but I didn't like her before that either. She played Eileen Wuornos.
Yeah. Oof. Speaking of Oscar hunting, that was hers. So it's not just
what do you mean? You think people just get out of the rack and they say, "Hey"?
I think people make certain choices.
I'm going to go for the Oscar today.
No, for sure. Like, especially when you're a guy like Will Smith or like Charlize Theron had sort of a similar career where she's doing a lot of like action, like popcorn movies, stuff like that. And you're not winning an Oscar for that. And Leo did the same thing. Like that's why he did The Revenant. That's why he did a bunch of those. Like,
again, another movie that only needs watching once.
Like Will Smith definitely was in Oscar hunting mode for a while, and then he didn't get it. And
Shane, remember when I watched that for the first time and I had to take timeouts?
For The Revenant?
It was during COVID.
Yeah.
I watched it in the dark. It was like 3:30 in the afternoon. It was snowing. It was super overcast. I was on the couch. I was like, I need 20.
Give me
and then I'd come back to it. And I was like,
oh,
God. Ooh. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just,
okay. All right. Stop.
I'm just not interested.
I gave myself 20.
I'm just not interested in movies I have to endure.
Yeah, you definitely enduring with The Revenant.
You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to. It's supposed to be my entertainment time. It's supposed to be my downtime. I don't want to have to like grind through a movie.
I know. I said Rose, she raised a very nice boy.
I'm practical.
I want to be happy.
I do want to be happy. I want everybody to be happy.
All right. If you really want to make me happy, set the lineup so we can take a brizzy.
Lineup for today. We've got.
Wait a minute. You don't have it.
I've always got it memorized. We got Michael Severe at 8:00.
Yeah. So who put him on the clock? You, Shane? Or does he said he had a made up breakfast?
Yeah, he's got a breakfast
He ain't got
engagement
no breakfast, man.
with Marty Cordero, I believe.
Oh no, you can't be late for that. All right, that's fair. All right, keep it pushing.
Then we've got Brian Edwards from Major Wager if he decides not to ghost us this week. We'll see how that goes. And then Michael Bruntz, Husker 24/7, coming up at 9.
Oh, are you going to tell Bruntz the secret I told you yesterday about me quietly cheering for the A's?
Let's see if it comes up organically.
The Iron Giant. What was sad about the Iron Giant? Did the Giant die? Go to scrap metal heaven?
That was the animated one, right?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I don't watch a lot of animated movies.
There's some good ones, though.
I'm not like morally opposed. They just don't. That's not usually my wheelhouse.
I don't even know how we got here. I was just talking about 11 of 15 on layups.
Well, I think we got distracted by horror movies with Sasha somehow. I don't know what happened.
I just wanted to hear her voice and see what she was talking about this morning. She's making a lot of gestures back there.
Boondock Saints.
If nothing else, we have to take a break so I can fix these goddamn lights.
All right, let's take a quick break. That's DB.
I can't wait for this.
I'm Ravi Lulu.
I will enjoy watching you fix the lights.
Yeah, you know what I do? I just lay them down, face down. That's my fix.
Sasha said she'll fix them in the break. We will be right back. More Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next.
Yeah, I think just alignment and approach, alignment and how he sees the game of football, believes in stopping the run. I think that's big. If you look over the course of my career, I've worked for a number of different coaches and different philosophies, and you take different things from everyone. But getting around Rob, just a week or two when we met, it was pretty clear that he places a huge priority on stopping the run, and I believe in that personally. And then just watching how he navigates the role of coordinator, because you're coordinating men who all have experience, and you're coordinating players, and just his approach and how he weaves through that kind of seamlessly and effectively. And I'm a big Rob Orge fan. I think that's no secret. And so just looking to continue to improve and do the same things here or better.
I'd say just confidence is one thing going in. Not being a starter last year, obviously that's something new I got to develop, but the confidence I have in my teammates to make plays behind me too is unbelievable. I know every time a ball gets hit, there's a chance it's going to be made no matter how hard, so knowing that is really good. I added a little bit of weight, but no, definitely pitches. Last year I was heavy on the fastballs with a curveball too. Developed a changeup, a cutter, kind of like a hybrid curveball slider I throw too, and just any count, as long as I can land it. Just got those 4 pitches I can throw at any time.
Yeah, honestly, this has been one of the easier transitions. The guys on the team have been super welcoming, the coaches also. But just being able to come in here, understand the standard, the culture, made it a pretty easy transition. Yeah, no, he definitely gets out there at practice and shows us that, he's still an athlete for sure. But yeah, being able to be coached from a guy that was at a school like Michigan, played in the league, it definitely helps a lot because you know that he knows what it takes. So yeah, being able to take any little gem that I have from him is really good.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
It's been great from a standpoint of I think he's a challenging head coach. He demands your best. I think that's something that if you're wired the right way as a coach, you want that. That keeps you, on a sharp edge. And for him to go, make sure your things you're doing in India is carrying over the team and things like that. Like as a head coach, that's keeping you on par. So he demands your best, and I think it's been great to work.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi here at Hurrdat Sports headquarters. That was Corey Brown.
You got that one right.
Coach. It's easier with videos. You know, I don't. Sometimes the picture is a little misleading, and it's like, you know, people's profile pictures. Sometimes you see them.
You
and you're
did
like,
break
oh.
the string, and you got.
I got 2 for 2.
Michael Scott, right?
Michael Severe. That's not Michael Scott.
You weren't around for Michael Scott on Channel 7, were you?
Oh no, yeah, I was. I remember Michael Scott.
Yeah.
I thought you were going back to The Office again. Same haircut.
Wow.
It is. He got the little, you know,
Got a little.
He's got the part.
Little Steve Carell to him.
He's got the nice part.
You make sure you tell him that when we.
He always does his hair real nice.
Yeah, I wonder how long it takes. Going through a lot of gel.
Yeah.
Think it's flammable?
Well, that's hairspray. I don't think gel's flammable typically. The hairspray is though.
How do you make the distinction?
Well, hairspray is an aerosol, and then gel is a gel. The hairspray sprays is that's the distinction I would make.
I'm just counting to 10.
Trying to decide if
I'm just counting to 10. I would assume gel has some flammable components to it.
I don't know. It's
Ask Jimmy Neutron. That thing's kind of whipped. No way that thing's holding naturally. Or do you think he sleeps and just like turns every 5 seconds so he gets the angle?
I mean, that would be an incredible level of discipline.
He's pot committed. Maybe he's like that.
Yeah.
Omaha Michael Scott, not a fan of snakes. Hi, I'm Devin Patton. Anyway, there's a lot.
I would agree. Hot Danger. It looks like it could be a pomade more than a gel.
Pomade has certainly got to be flammable, doesn't it? Isn't it more like embalming fluid or something like that?
I don't think it's embalming fluid. No. I don't think you're putting that on your head when you're alive.
I don't know. Some of those press kits that we used to use back in the day were probably highly flammable.
Back in the day?
Yeah.
Let's Google here.
You've never seen Malcolm X, have you?
The movie with Denzel Washington or the historical figure? Yes, I have seen.
They talked about, or a better one is Mo Better Blues.
I have not seen.
So Denzel's little friend Spike Lee wanted his hair straight, and his conch, like he had to put his head in the toilet. It was so hot. I'm just saying.
I only understood like every other word in that sentence.
It's pretty ethnic, so I'm sure I lost you along the way.
Is hair pomade flammable? Here we go.
Are you really Googling that?
Pomade is generally not considered highly flammable in its container. It can become flammable when applied to the hair. So like if it's on your head and you're near fire, like watch out. But like in the container, you're probably okay.
That's kind of my point.
All right. Well,
shout out me.
Just keep Michael Severe's head away from any open flames. We should be okay.
It looks very flammable-y. What? Why is that funny?
It was funny.
You're enjoying just chuckling at me a lot this morning, and I'm trying to figure out.
I'm just having a good time, just laughing with friends. You know,
who would those be? Those two?
Yeah, Shane and
AJ.
Sasha and Austin.
It's not
Rico.
It's not your boy.
Apparently, Rico's got a case of the Big Ten media days.
Wow.
I heard a laugh out of Sasha on that one.
I know exactly what you mean, and I was mortified. I was completely traumatized.
Listen, we got through it. You know, we got through it.
Poor Rico. That sucks.
At least he's at home. That's good. I could understand why you might not want to make the drive up to Omaha, though.
Yeah. That would have been.
No, you tried not to, Shane. That's the problem.
Being alone on the toilet is proof that you will always be alone when shit goes down.
That would be miserable. Hopefully he has like dude wipes or something.
We should get. Do we know any plumbers, Sasha? We should get a plumbing company.
I got a great plumbing company.
And have them sponsor a segment called Shane.
Being alone on the toilet.
Wrong one.
Let that poop sink in.
You don't want it to be being alone on a toilet?
No, I want it to be the other one.
I got a great plumber.
Let that shit sink in.
Brought to you by.
Yeah.
That would be a great sponsored segment.
He's a big fan too.
Plumbers, hit us up.
My fucking grandpa always thinks he's tossing me some wise advice and then say some shit like,
Some stuff like what? What's wrong with your mouth? I think he's still mad from not having a key.
He's always mad about something.
I mean, what a random text.
Trying to be nice to stupid people.
Oh, really? That's what we're on?
Your boss is sitting right next to you, Shane.
I think he's talking about me. That's fine.
Let that shit sink in.
That's fine. Do
So
you want to take a break before we get to Sevier?
I do want to ask, though, because there was a lot of people in the comments. Rico says, shout out Shane, the laughing helps. I bet it doesn't. You really don't want to, like, shake a lot while that's happening. You know?
No, and then you get like, man, you got to cool your bum down. I'm good. So you get to the point where you just got to dap.
Sometimes you just gotta like shower.
That's that's always.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like
I feel bad because you can't go far, you can't do anything.
Yeah, no, you're shutting it down.
I feel bad for my man Suave. Are you wondering why I'm standing?
No, you're good. I just assumed you're getting a little anxious energy out.
Oh, the lights are killing me. It's hot.
It's hot?
Yeah.
I don't think it's too hot. Do we have
you just cool like that?
Like the other side of the pillow?
No, not that cool.
It seems like the chat has landed on a lot of the products to help straighten certain types of hair.
Collectively, our chat would win Jeopardy, by the way.
More flammable than other types of hair products. So that might be where the disconnect was. My hair is naturally straight.
I hate your delivery. I think it blows.
I'm just trying. Well, my process isn't quite as good as maybe Dexter's or some other people you admire.
Wow.
Coming up next,
it's not like my hero.
It kind of seems like he might be. We've got Michael Sevier coming up next here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
Yeah, well, Blackwood's isn't going anywhere. He's had a couple of really good starts on Sunday, so we'll keep the same rotation and have Cooper available out of the pen. And I thought he looked great. The fastball had some finish to it. He's throwing 2 breaking balls in there, mixing in the changeup. So he looked great out of the pen. I think the fastball is going to play up a little bit there. And I'm not saying that's going to be his role moving forward. But I think you could see a potential for him to slide into maybe the day after Blackowitz. Maybe he throws Tuesday. But we'll have him available out of the pen to help us win on the weekend.
Well, the first part of your question, I was kind of on the tad end of that portal window, so got a chance to meet Jasir while he was here on his visit, and then some things family-wise happened, and I got a chance to do some things over Zoom calls with Owen, but you always watch film prior to see what those guys' strengths and weaknesses are. But looking at those guys, they bring an explosive element to the table. They also bring a leverage element to the table. And not saying that because of their height, but because sometimes a guy may be 6'1", but play like he's 6'5". But those guys in that 6'1" to 6'2" range, but play with great leverage and good knee bend. So those aspects of explosiveness, the power, and then strong hands as well that they bring to the table. And then the mentality, because it's something where you just can't shy away from contact in that position, but that's definitely something they've been doing on film in a short period of time.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's DBM Ravi Lula here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Michael Severe. What's up, Michael? How we doing?
I just want to first say, before we get started, shit. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's go. Give the curse. That's just that's like my dream. Let's go.
You know what? It kind of is. Remember how it used to catch me off guard? I was like, why are you talking to me like that? You're like,
sometimes you just gotta. This is where I was brought up, man. You know, my mom curses, and all my uncles curse. You watch a game of spades in my family, man. There's more curse words than a Richard Pryor movie. I mean, it's so. Yeah, I felt good. Thank you. Happy Thursday.
So where's breakfast?
We're eating at No Good, actually. That's what we're gonna eat. We're gonna eat at No Good this morning.
Oh, good call.
Yeah,
Nice.
over there on Center. It's close to my house. It's 8 blocks from my house or whatever. So it works out pretty good. Go ahead.
I almost stopped in your neck of the woods the other day. Ravi sent me a picture from the Omaha Food Lovers where they had huge the whole strip loins on sale. They were going like hotcakes. Big primal.
At the good place or the bad place?
The good one, 50th.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah. That's a great place to go. Because I think that their butchers really care. And like they're personal. We go in there, a lot, so they know me, and they'll make sure they get you the right cut. I always go pick up my my father-in-law's steaks that we get him for Christmas every year. I go there and get their giant T-bones from there.
How about
he's a T-bone guy.
To help out the restaurants with kind of streamlining their beef products? I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel bad for the restaurants, man. I know they kind of heard that it was coming before it to happen as sudden as it did. I think took some people off guard. They thought maybe it would take a little bit longer. So I felt bad for them. But you know what? Those guys that run those places, they're geniuses to be able to make it work, especially nowadays with the way the economy is and roads are and everything else. So they'll get it done. I want to ask Ravi a question. Ravi, as a basketball guy and a person who watches a lot of college basketball, are there any two fan bases in the country that complain more about referees than Nebraska and Creighton? It's incredible. And their fans, every game, they never lost a game. They've lost games to officials. They haven't lost an actual game. It blows my mind. Every morning after, it's just complaining about officials. What is up?
So I have a theory.
Okay.
I don't think Nebraska and Creighton fans are unique in this. I just think they're the closest to us, so it's louder.
Sure.
But I also think a lot of fans in Nebraska don't watch a lot of other college sports sometimes. And so I don't know that we appreciate the overall ineptitude of officiating across levels, across teams, across conferences. I know we think it's malicious sometimes or even corrupt, but I'm like, I swear to God, it's just incompetence. Like, they are bad across levels. They are bad across leagues. They are like, there's just not enough good officials. So I think when you realize that it's a basketball problem and frankly a football problem too, but there's more calls in basketball. I think you start to realize, oh, this isn't about Nebraska or Creighton or any team that I like. This is just a basketball problem.
Allow me to retort. I believe there are times, though, where the people who are criticizing don't know the rules. And so they're criticizing referee who made the right call because they don't know the rules. A player goes to the ground and grabs the ball. Another player jumps on his back, taking the ball from him. They call the foul on the guy who jumped on his back. That's the correct call. And then for the next 4 hours, people are complaining because, oh, he was stealing the ball. He jumped on the guy's back. At the 6:30 mark of that exact same game, the exact same thing happened. The DePaul guy was second to the floor. They called on the DePaul guy. So I don't know if the referees are as bad as sometimes people not knowing the rules or understanding what it's like to that speed of the game and have to make that call. That's my retort to that.
I would agree that is also part of the problem, is there is not a there's not a robust understanding of the rules of college basketball. I do also think the officiating across the sport is not very good or consistent. So I think both of those things can be true at the same time. But you're right. A lot of it is just people want every call to go for their team and none of the calls to go for their team. And so whether they know the rules or don't know the rules, they're certainly willing to overlook the rules if it negatively impacts their team.
Hey, Shane, do me a favor. Seviere, I'd like for you to listen to this clip and tell me what like your immediate thoughts were compared to last year. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You ready? Okay. Shane, play clip 2 first. Play clip 2 first.
To make sure he has deliberate focus to get better daily. And it's something that he can pick out certain things in his game. And we talked about strengths and weaknesses in our one-on-one meeting. Obviously, if he probably was in here, he'd probably tell you, going off of yesterday's practice, he needs to be better with his hands. His hand placement, hand consistency, and how strong they are. But I think his game has so much room to grow. And it's from a fundamental standpoint of understanding, because it is a new defense. How we're fitting things, where the ball is going to be based on how the blocks we're going to see. And that's my job as a coach, to make sure I can shorten the learning curve. Based on backfield sets, this is what you should be expecting. Sometimes D&D wise with this call, this is what you could be expecting. And he's a smart guy. He's been around ball. He understands that. But now adding the technique to his wits, it definitely help his game go leaps and bounds.
You're the guy that coined the phrase on one of our infamous segments of situational awareness, right? The fundamentals, teaching what are you doing pre-snap. When you hear Coach Brown talk about the D-line, and in particular Riley Van Poppel with heavy hands, like you got to feel pretty good, man. You like D-line, you want them taught well, you study D-line, you're like, well, yeah, well, kind of where's that been? He's saying it out loud. Like what do you think when you heard him talk through the details?
Let me first say I'm very sorry for his loss. That was when he got hired, people were all upset because he wasn't here yet, and he was dealing with a very close loss in his family. So I feel bad about that. There's no bigger hire in terms of WAR than that hire, right? I mean, his wins above replacement of the person he replaces is enormous. It's even hard to judge. You're talking about a guy who's been in a room, who understands how to run a room, who Coach Strohmeyer called to me. He said one of the best technicians I've ever been around. And so I'm excited about having him in there. We talk so much about and criticize the second and third levels of the defense last year. And, you saw it so many times. They had to do so many things in terms of games, not being able to contain the edge last year, that they put the second and third level in such bad positions. Those guys didn't play great, but they were hurt because of the way the D-line played. I'm excited to see, I'm a Van Poppel fan from his freshman, sophomore years. I thought the kid was going to make a big jump last year in his third total year in the program, and we didn't see that. I think part of it was the fact that he didn't receive the kind of coaching he needed, motivation he needed. I think Noweri is going to take a huge jump because and they got better coaching overall on that defensive side of the ball. And so I'm excited. I think the D-line is going to play like I thought they were going to play last year. I take a lot of criticism for saying I thought the D-line could be better than they were with Nash and Ty. Obviously, they weren't last year. I blame a lot of that on development and coaching, and I think they're going to take a huge jump this year.
So, Severe, you and I are on the same page with the defensive line, because I was very high on them last year. I liked the guys in the room. I liked the talent. I thought they could be really good, and I got crushed for it because I was pretty high on them, which is, they didn't play to that level. I get it. But I also was not freaking out that they didn't go remake the entire room in the transfer portal, because I looked at it and I go, I still like these guys if you get the right coaching in there. Now I'm bummed out that Keona Davis isn't there, because I was a big Keona Davis guy. But you look at that room and I still go, I still like Nwaneri. I still like Van Poppel. I still like Lenhart. I still like Petchak. I like some of the guys they brought in. Like, I understand the frustration with how it looked last year, but do you think as a fan base we kind of underestimate how bad things can go without the right coach in the room, and how much better they can go with the right coach in the room? And B, DB brings this up all the time, just being a year older in a trench position can impact your level of play.
Oh, I know that the majority of people who follow the game underestimate it because the majority of us never played at that level or were in those kind of meetings to understand. I always tell the story back when I was in Monroe. I had a chance to go and cover West Monroe High School, one of the best high schools in the country, and sit in the offensive line room because I talked the head coach in allowing me to do day of an offensive lineman. It actually ended up being Whitworth, who was the guy that I actually got a chance to profile when I was there. And to just watch the way they talk technique, the way that they deal with mistakes, the way they correct coming out of practice, all of that we underestimate. And yeah, it's huge, especially at those technique positions like that. I'm with you on the bodies. I think looking at Malcolm Simpson, just when they show him working out in the weight room, that kid looks like he's a beast. I mean, we'll see how he plays when he gets on the field, but he looks the real deal. We've all seen Tyson Terry and what he can be. How he ended up, still winning and wrestling with a torn ACL, which is still incredible as a guy who tore his ACL twice. I think that's one of the most incredible things I've ever heard. But yeah, I'm excited about the defensive line. And yeah, I was wrong last year, but I think a big part of it was just coaching. And the more you hear about that room and the more you find out about things about it, you understand why that they played the way they did. I mean, how can you not set the edge? How after 8-9 weeks of a season, and they got worse as they went along. I mean, you go watch that Penn State game. How many times did you see fundamental mistakes on the D line and then the filling of those linebackers? It just didn't get any better. And so a big part of that, I think, has to be looking at the coaches.
So, there's a lot of guys, a lot of candidates, whether it's, Petchak or Winari or Ochoa or Dylan Rogers or McGahee. I mean, whomever. Like, you got to be salivating a little bit when you talk about setting edges with open and closed side ends, right? Like guys that, I mean, their job is going to be to get vertical, and that's what they do, getting after the passer while trying to set the edge.
You know, Petchak reminds me a little bit the more I look back at him. It's like when Malik Collins came in as a young guy, he would make these plays occasionally, and you'd go outside of the defense, right? And you'd go, he probably shouldn't have done that. But man, look at the way he made that play and look how explosive he was. And then, 11 years later or whatever, he's still playing in the league. Petchak reminds me of that as a true freshman. And so, yeah, really excited about watching him play. The wary one is the one to me that if you can unlock, again, skinny legs, don't love that. But if you can unlock his just natural athleticism along with understanding what's in front of him, I think he can have a huge year. And then the guy that I'm more excited about than most, and I mentioned how much I like Van Poppel and all those, but I think the two guys they brought in who on the transfer portal, I think both of those guys playing limited moments, but having pretty decent scores in terms of PFF and stuff. Be interesting to see how they develop when they actually get, as you always talk about, when you go from being one of the men to being the man, to being a guy who starts, who plays, 30, 40 plays a game, and seeing how they develop in the system as well.
I want to stay with kind of D-line, but I want to move on to the draft because I'm curious to kind of get your thoughts along the D-line because there's some different body types and teams are kind of playing defense differently now, obviously, right? A little more spread out, and you're going to try to copycat and see what McDonald and those guys are doing. What do you think of Woods? I think he's one of these guys that was going to be really, really good, and then they kind of fell off, and he was maybe better on tape last year, but he has to be a guy that could make a ton of money in Indy because when he's right, man, there are times he looks elite.
Yeah. Taking the defensive ends out of this and just talking about the guys inside. There's about 4 or 5 in the top 20 who came into the season and were expected to have just huge years. And whether it's because of their team or maybe they had injuries or whatever else, they just didn't live up to what their 4-star or 5-star labeling were. And he's one of them. And I think he's going to have a great combine. Listening to, I think it was Dame Brugler talk about him. He just says there's times where you watch him on tape and you say, oh, there he is. That's the guy. That's the guy we thought was going to be dominant. And then there's times where 4 or 5 plays happen and he doesn't do anything. Yeah. So again, I don't know what the issue was last year, but he's not alone. There's a lot of guys in here that have to go in those meetings those little 15-minute meetings and explain why they played like they did or didn't play like we thought they would, and he's going to be one of them.
Is Bain Jr. the closest to an every down lineman for you?
So we're going to defensive ends. I think there's about
he can play
probably
inside too.
Yeah, but I think just because he has the short arms, everybody's going to say, well, he's got to move inside. I like him out there. I love his punch. I love how he's got a first step for a guy that thick that he has. And so I think he can play out there at the next level in the right system. He again reminds me of a guy like Mike Graham, who came out all those years ago and they put him in the wrong system. And then 2 or 3 years later, the Eagles were like, hey, maybe you should play here. And all of a sudden, he's had this career he's had. He's got to go to the right system that fits him. Messidor does too. Both of them do have to go to the right system. But I think in the right system, you're right. He could play inside, but I think outside he could be dynamic as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. Messidor is super old, but Bain looks old. But do you like the Ingram comp for Bain Jr.?
Yeah, I do. I think so. The one like I said, the guy that reminds me of is Graham, the Michigan guy from years ago. Reminds me of him because of the fact that when you look at him, you go, oh, he doesn't look all that dynamic. But then you go back and you watch the tape and you go, wow, he beat the hell out of that guy off the line. And so that's who it. But I see what people are saying with that. He's a unique guy though. I mean, that short of arms. It's funny. He got compared. One of the guys on Twitter compared him to Joe Frazier because, Joe had those short arms, throwing those hooks, and that's what he is. And he's just so explosive every time. Like, he hits you, and you're thinking, okay, this guy's not huge. He doesn't have long arms, but damn, he's forceful. And so, yeah, I like that comp in terms of a boxing comp for him. But, yeah, he's going to be exciting to watch at the next level if he's right in the right system. Because I think in the wrong system, people will be calling him a bust early, especially if he ends up being as high as I think he's going to go in the draft.
So, yeah, Michael, I want to stay on Bain here for a second, just because I'm fascinated by this dynamic because him and Messidor both are two of the better defensive linemen and certainly two of the most disruptive that we saw last year. And this whole his arms are a little too short thing always kind of blows my mind. Is there anything like Bain could do at the combine? Obviously, he can't get his arms to be any longer, but is there anything at the combine that you think would help people answer the questions about, well, we don't know if the body matches up with the tape in terms of playing at the next level, or is it just like, hey, somebody's going to take a chance on him because they like the tape and the combine doesn't matter as much for a guy like Bain?
Well, Ravi, what I would do is I would walk around with my phone with my highlight package on it and just hand it to people and go, here, this is me. Yeah, I don't care what I do in my vert. I don't care what I do in my brush up. Look at this video. Look at this video. Look how nasty I am. Look what I can do. There's a lot of guys like that. I think that people may say they have something to prove at the combine. I think we need to fall back a little bit more on tape. Here's a guy, Romello Height, right? Romello Height, a guy who maybe not is in that top 10 of the defensive ends, but again, go watch his tape and watch how explosive he can be coming off the edge. And he got a great comparison too, right? Because you have a guy opposite of him who is considered to be one of the best players coming out in David Bailey. And you have him, and you compare the two of them, you go, wow, maybe Height's the better guy game to game. So I think there's a lot of guys who people are going to say you have to prove something, and I would just say, look at my tape. That's how I play at the highest level for 16 games. Something that only been done one time going back to the late 1800s. I played for 16 games, and in my 16th game, I still was at 80%. So I think that's what those guys should be saying when they go to those 15-minute meetings.
It's fascinating too, because that's how I feel about what's his buckets from Pitt. When you watch him and you just roll the tape, he is so explosive in terms of running and getting to the ball. And I for as much as a guy that is as productive as he was on a really good defense at Pitt, he seems like he's kind of flying under the radar. This could be a big week for him in Indy.
You know what I like about, like you were talking about coaching earlier, there's certain coaches, right, that you look at their players differently. I remember hearing Belichick talk about that with some of those Rutgers guys he drafted. He knew, because who coached them, how good they can be. How many defensive linemen have you seen come out of that system under that head coach and be really good? Because he just gets the best out of you. And so I don't always know how naturally talented those guys are, but I know they've been coached up really well. And I know they've been convinced that they can be the very best. That's why I kind of like the kid from Pitt who came to Nebraska, because I know he's had really good coaching there at Pitt. So yeah, I'm with you, especially when it talks about where the guy came from. There's certain schools like Penn State where the guy doesn't always seem to excel at the highest level, and then gets to the league, and all of a sudden you're like, well, wow, damn, he was really good. How come he didn't play this well at Penn State? LSU is another one of those, but Pitt's not. Those guys come out and they showed what they can do in college, and they show what they can do in the pros.
I'm not exactly. Now you could slap my hand if we disagree, but like for a guy like Mendoza, right? I don't love him going one. I get the position that the team drafting one is in. But if you agree with me here, a guy that can make you he'll make some of these throws and you're like, oh shoot, man, like this dude he's got it. But then you look at some downtimes in terms of processing and getting the ball out of his hands. He's certainly not elite, but can make some pretty difficult throws. What kind of team does he have to play with if you agree with those attributes of him? What does he have to be surrounded by?
So here's my thing about Mendoza is what I always say about him is that he's not an elite quarterback, but he makes more elite throws, especially at critical times, than any quarterback that you're going to see. And so I understand some of his limitations. Now, if you go back and look, he did have a really quick delivery and got rid of the ball, especially when they were playing in rhythm. He did have times where he held on to the ball a little bit, but all these quarterbacks have. If I'm the Raiders, and I've said this a number of times, I would trade if somebody really wanted him and wanted to give me a blockbuster deal to come to one. I would move off only because I know I don't have the offensive line to protect him. I didn't have the offensive line to run the ball last year. I drafted a running back. I don't have the offensive line to protect a quarterback. I'm gonna draft a quarterback. I would wait. I would wait till next year, and who I think's coming out next year, and I would take the blockbuster trade if somebody wanted to come up. Not that I don't like Mendoza, because I really like Mendoza. I just think the Raiders need a whole lot more than bringing a rookie quarterback in with no veteran there in front of him currently to say you're starting right away, and I would feel bad for him. But I would make the trade, although I think he can be. Look at the quarterbacks that we're talking about that have made the Super Bowl the last few years. Yes, you're going to have some elite guys, but at the same time, you have guys in, again, I always bring up Brock Purdy, who very mobile in the pocket, can go get you 10 when you need 10. Mendoza can do the same thing and can be really accurate. You can win with those guys, right? It's obvious.
Purdy
Look at Darnold.
Be an elite quarterback, but he has some elite attributes.
Yeah, and I think Mendoza has that in terms of his accuracy down the field. He doesn't throw the ball a lot down the field, but his accuracy down the field is really high level. And so I think he has some elite tendencies as well. I'm just saying that when you start listing the top 5 quarterbacks, right? Yeah. That's not what you need to get to the Super Bowl. Maybe to win it, but not to get to the Super Bowl. You need somebody that's in that top 10, top 15 who can just make plays on third down for you more than anything else. And I think Mendoza can do that. Here's the crazy thing about it. Dane Brugler has been rating drafts for over a decade now. This is the first time he's ever had 6 or fewer quarterbacks and running backs in his top 100. Think about that. That's what this is this year. He had fewer than 6 total together in the top 100.
Emmett just made the cut, right?
Emmett's at 99. So you had Emmett, the 2 running backs from Notre Dame, Nussmeier, Simpson, and Mendoza. That's it. That's incredible to think about how the lack of talent, the lack of at least what people think and perceive to be talent in that top 100. A guy who does a very good job, I think, in Dane Brugler says, look, man, it's just not that draft, you know? And then I saw Cosell said yesterday, same thing. He goes, there's very few first-round true talents in this draft. He said between maybe 10 and 12, where normally you have between 15 and 18. Think about that. It's a weird draft, man. It's good for the defensive ends. It's good for the offensive linemen. It's really good for some of these off-ball linebackers. They're going to be guys that get pushed up.
Off-ball linebackers, number one, they don't get paid on those second contracts, and I think they're hard to evaluate. Because of how the game is played. Because I'm telling you, and I know you probably think I'm crazy, but I'm taking Sonny Styles over Arvell Reese every day that ends in Y, unless they make Reese rush the passer. If if he's not a guy that gets after the quarterback, take Sonny Styles.
You know, Styles is rated in a lot of those systems higher than Reese is.
Not surprised.
Okay, so they take Reese and they put him in as defensive end and they put his numbers in. But if you talk about their overall numbers, actually Styles is rated a lot by a lot of people. The guy I like, so normally Josiah Trotter, because of what you said about the off-ball linebackers, is what, maybe a late second round pick, third round pick, maybe somewhere in there. Because of this draft and the lack of the quarterbacks, running backs, and number one wide receivers, traditional number one wide receivers, he gets pushed up. So that's what I meant by that. I think those guys are going to get the benefit of the doubt only because of the fact that those high-profile guys that normally have to go in the first and second round aren't necessarily there.
That's kind of how I feel about Kyle Lewis from Pitt.
From Pitt, right, yep, yeah. This is going to be this draft won't get great ratings, okay, TV ratings, but in terms of if you love ball and you love guys who just love to play the game, I think this is loaded with them. And so the stories they tell about these guys, there's the one guy who was he was a BMX rider, right? He was a BMX biker for most of his career, for most of his life, and then switched over to football. And those kind of stories are just incredible. And that's what this draft will be about, stories more than necessarily the high profile guys. Even though I think there's some wide receivers on this list that could be dynamic, they just aren't as good as some of the years we've had in the past.
Casey Concepcion, a guy like that.
So Casey, the two guys that I think are very intriguing on different ends of the spectrum. Denzel Boston, big physical guy who, when he was down at Washington, they just could not throw the ball and can catch the ball in traffic. And then Casey Concepcion is the ultimate gadget guy. You can have him do 100 million things. They're all going to be good. I am concerned about his drops. Matter of fact, he cost me anytime touchdown at one point this season. I still hate him for it. But his drops sometimes, but in terms of what you want to do, you want to run him in some end around stuff. If you want to run some tunnel screen stuff with him, if you want to just occasionally say, let's just run Casey Concepcion 3 or 4 times on go routes to stretch the defense, he can do all those things. But I think he's in the top 6 or top 5 wide receivers. Concepcion and Boston both are, but those are the two guys that are kind of opposite sides of the spectrum. One big, one small for me.
So we're on receivers here for a second. Two guys that I really like, Mekhi Lemon and Zachariah Branch. You mentioned
Branch is a stud. Not
traditional number one receivers, but like, does that matter as much as it used to? I mean, we saw guys like Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua and like very untraditional number one type guys just dominate for stretches over the last handful of years in the league. I mean, you don't have to go back to the New England guys and everything that they did with as smaller kind of slot receivers that were number one options, even if they weren't number one receivers. Like, does that or should it matter as much as it used to not be a traditional number one? Because I look at Lemon and Branch and I'm like, I'll take those guys all day.
Yeah, between Puka and Cooper Kupp, they may have caught 1,000 passes in college. Because I will say they may not be the traditional number one coming out, but man, they ran every single route. They caught every ball down the field. There were times where Puka got injured at BYU where, again, they couldn't function as an offense until he came back, and all of a sudden they were much better. So that's the difference, I think, a little bit of that. So Branch is intriguing as hell. You were asking earlier, Ravi, about can some of these guys do something for themselves in the combine? Branch needs to come out there and run some, and they're going to run some of those deep routes where he finds the ball, tracks the ball, and catches it, because it's not on tape. Yet he hasn't had those plays. And so he's got to do that. We know what he is in terms of being sudden. We know how good he is when you get the ball to him out on a quick smoke or an inside route or something where he can make a guy miss. But he hasn't necessarily had those down the field plays. So he's got to get those. If I was Mekhi Lemon, I would somehow hire somebody to scrub all the video from the Nebraska game and just scrub all that off the internet. And then everything else I have looks really good. Contesting catcher in the end zone, get off. I get off of man-to-man coverage. I can do whatever. I take big hits. But that one game against Nebraska is the one game where you're like,
right, because of that. He's still mad Sierra Wright isn't getting looks.
Your point is well taken.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
One outlier for a guy as good as Mekhi Lemon's track record. Shouldn't that say more about the guy covering him than it does Mekhi Lemon?
hey, man, I was with you. I thought for sure he was going to get invited to the combine, especially since he went to both All-Star games. I mean, what else do you have to do? You go to both All-Star games, you prove yourself. They start you in the Senior Bowl. He played as many snaps as anybody on that boundary corner, and I don't, for whatever reason, I don't know. I have no idea why he didn't get invited. That was one of those where if oh my God, what's his name? We used to have him on who helped put together the combine. But that's one where we would have called him and asked him why. Why is Sierra Wright not there? I'm with you. It doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Who's QB2?
Oh man, I'm assuming it's going to be Ty Simpson, and that's a huge mistake by anybody. I mean, you're talking about a guy with 15 starts. It's been proven you can't have 15 starts. Do you know he had over 1,000 days between throwing a pass in a game in high school and throwing a pass in a game at Alabama?
Yeah.
He just didn't get a lot of experience, and it's not enough starts in my opinion. And so I think Cole Payton's going to get pushed up because of this. I mean, obviously the what he did at All-Star games and the way he threw the ball in the practices and the potential of him, but another guy with only 12 or 13 starts, right? So another guy who hasn't, I know he played a lot of Taysom Hill role, but in terms of the quarterback. And so I don't know, this is not me being a homer at all because I'm not an LSU fan, but I think Nussmeier, when he's healthy, looks like a first-round pick. Now, he had that core injury last year, which, as you know, Damon, a lot of guys you played with had it. Plan to play quarterback with that injury. I don't even know how he tried to do it. They eventually shut him down. I think he can be potentially a good quarterback. He's got so much bad tape because of the injury. I think that hurts him. But I think he's going to, if he throws, I don't even know if if he throws at the combine, I think he'll show people, because when he threw during the week of the All-Star game, he looked great. So I push him ahead of some of those guys, but I think Simpson probably goes second, and I think that's a mistake, whoever ends up taking him.
I know, Severe, you got to get out of here. We appreciate the time. As always, tell Marty we say hi.
When are we going to save our Caleb
He's right next to me. He's like, hey, Marty. He's right next to me.
Save our Caleb Downs debate?
What is our debate going to be? I love him. What's wrong? What are we debating about?
I think you're going to be in trouble if you take a guy that plays like that in the top 5. He's
well, I don't. Safety's not going to go. I don't think a safety goes in the top 5. I think he probably goes between 8 and 12. I don't think the Saints will take him, although I think the Saints might move up. I think he goes by 12, but I don't think he goes in the top 5. He's just so smart, man. I think he can figure out wherever
he's way savvy. I get that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I still would take hyphenated last name. I think you'll be surprised. I think Downs is a little boxy.
Why do you think they won the national championship 2 years ago? Because they decided we're struggling defensively with some of this stuff. Let's just let Caleb Downs come down and be, a Palomar kind of guy, and that's what he did. It turned their defense around.
You're going to pay a lot of money for a box safety.
No, I know, and I don't know if he is just truly a box safety. If he runs better, which I think he will, whether it's the combine or the pro day, I think that gives him a chance to move up a little more. But I don't see him as if he's a top 5, that's a shot. There's too many good players. And you got to take a quarterback because that's just the way the rules are, for him to be in the top 5. I think the Saints move up. The Saints move up because they really love, man. And I think they're worried he gets taken. So Tennessee wants to move. I could see that being a move the Saints make.
Hey, you heard it here. I've said this before. Price is a better natural runner than Love.
He's an incredible kickoff returner, and you know how that translates into guys that, can find the space, that are fearless. I like him a lot. I was hoping that he'd have an end of his year to where he would challenge Caden Weigent to be the Jet Award winner, but he kind of got banged up, fell off a little bit. But yeah, he's absolutely dynamic. But I haven't seen him as an everyday back yet though, so I don't know how he would be.
We're going back to back with Weigent.
Yeah.
Yep. Can I still tell jokes, or do you just want me to keep it brief, or what are we doing?
You can tell jokes. That's fine. There was no choice, right? I mean, the guy set all these records. He's the only guy to be getting touchdowns. He's so dynamic. Even the Nebraska game. Remember when he had that one return? You're like, oh, he's gone. And they got him to the sideline. There's no choice, man. You had to pick him. He was pretty much unanimous.
I know.
He was unanimous. Yeah.
All right. I'll see you soon.
I'm still waiting for Peter to come back to town. That's all I'm saying.
I continually work on it. Matter of fact, ran into somebody who played with him and said, hey, can you please hook us up? Because we'd like to bring him back to be a Legacy Award winner. So Keep your fingers crossed.
Always. If you bring him back, you'll be one of my faves forever, Michael.
All right. I'm trying to get it done.
See you soon.
All right. See you guys.
That's Michael Severe, the director of the Jet Foundation.
Yeah,
Love
we're
talking to Michael.
April 2nd this year.
Yeah.
Are we going to
New
do the
location,
thing where I
right?
stop and talk to you, and then we'll make fun of people, and then I'll go to work.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, so if the Raiders do trade and they don't go for the quarterback, is the quarterback pile going to be good next year? So because they're going to suck again next year.
It most certainly will be better than this year.
It's hard to be worse, honestly. Like it's
hard to
just
be worse.
Hard to
Yeah,
be
I mean,
worse
you get
than this
Dante
class.
Moore. Like it'll be better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Legitimately, it's hard to be worse than this class. This is about as bad as the Kenny Pickett class, basically.
Yeah. And I mean, listen,
Mendoza's better than Pickett, I think, but like that's after that, it is bleak.
Yeah, I like Downs. Like, so I don't want to. This isn't a Darren Peterson thing.
No, but he's currently.
But it is. That's too high.
Yeah.
For what he does, it's just too high.
At least the mock that I know that you're not a huge Kuiper fan, but that's the one that I've got up right now. That's
a very Jets move to take him.
100% it is. Like that's why I don't think it's a crazy. Like that's a very Jetsy move to take either him or I would bet they take either him or Arvell Reese at 2.
Yeah, Reese is tough. It's a tough comp. It is a really tough comp. I've been victim to some of those guys in a very similar style that are off ball like that. You know, like the Steelers have drafted, and you know they were trying to play Shazier with. They drafted him about 4 or 5 years ago, and I'm thinking, is lighter, quicker guy off ball. It's just not gonna translate. I mean, he was sweet in college, but just didn't thump quite enough. But a guy I do like, almost opposite of my thought process, but a similar style, is go watch Kyle Lewis from Pitt.
Okay.
Active son of a gun, downhill, really good striker.
Yeah.
And I agree. Like those guys from Pitt, you typically
maximized.
Do well. Yeah, you typically do well.
Let's take a quick break here. We'll get to Brian Edwards coming up here in a few minutes. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lou. Let's Hurrdat Sports Live.
I think just alignment and approach, alignment and how he sees the game of football, believes in stopping the run. I think that's big. If you look over the course of my career, I've worked for a number of different coaches and different philosophies, and you take different things from everyone. But getting around Rob, just a week or two when we met, it was pretty clear that he placed a huge priority on stopping the run, and I believe in that personally. And then just watching how he navigates the role of coordinator, because you're coordinating men who all have experience, and you're coordinating players, and just his approach and how he weaves through that kind of seamlessly and effectively. And I'm a big Rob Orge fan. I think that's no secret, and so just looking to continue to improve and do the same things here or better.
I'd say just confidence is one thing going in. Not being a starter last year, obviously that's something new I got to develop. But the confidence I have in my teammates to make plays behind me too is unbelievable. I know every time a ball gets hit, there's a chance it's going to be made no matter how hard. So knowing that is really good. I added a little bit of weight, but no, definitely pitches. Last year I was heavy on the fastballs with a curveball too. Developed a changeup, a cutter, kind of like a hybrid curveball slider I throw too, and just any count as long as I can land it. Just got those 4 pitches I can throw at any time.
Yeah, honestly, this has been one of the easier transitions. The guys on the team have been super welcoming, the coaches also. But just being able to come in here, understand the standard, the culture, made it a pretty easy transition. Yeah, no, he definitely gets out there at practice and shows us that, he's still an athlete for sure. But yeah, being able to be coached from a guy that was at a school like Michigan, played in the league, it definitely helps a lot because you know that he knows what it takes. So yeah, being able to take any little gem that I have from him is really good.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live. Now, Vegas insider, senior handicapper, and fan of the cold Budweiser bottles, Brian Edwards.
It's got to be touchdown, touchdown, touchdown.
Brian Edwards.
I don't really love it.
Brian Edwards.
Were they using the cream cheese to butter the bagel?
Brian Edwards.
I'm going with the cowgirl.
Here is Brian Edwards.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lula. We are joined now by Brian Edwards from Major Wager, our Vegas insider. What's up, B? How we doing?
Good morning, gentlemen. I like the new facility you're in.
Yeah, you like the new digs?
Yeah, I'm in a different facility myself. I've got my carpets being taken out and hardwood floors going in.
Golly, man, the pick's that good, huh?
Well, the landlord's paying for it, actually.
They're like, hey, I got a proposition for you. Like, oh, all right, on your dime. That's always the best business deals to do, right?
Well, it was time for the renewal of the lease, and I said, hey, come on, it's carpets, gotta go.
I'm out on carpets too, man. He's playing college ball now, but I had a guy that was dead set on carpets, and so he kind of won out. But now that he makes more money than me now, probably. So we're getting rid of the carpets too, man. I'm team hardwood floors.
Let's go.
It's easier to clean.
Yeah. You don't have any pets either, do you, B?
Not anymore. My beloved dog, Arlene Spurrier Edwards, passed away. I'm literally looking for.
Wait. Who? What was your dog's name again?
Arlene. It's a female. I always said if I got a male dog, I would name it Spurrier, but I got a female, so I didn't name the middle name Spurrier Edwards. Arlene Spurrier Edwards.
Okay, so you're like, here, Arlene. Arlene.
Something like that.
Well, was there something you called her for short?
Was there like a nickname?
Just Arlene. Just Arlene.
That doesn't seem like it would register with dogs.
No,
you need one of those names.
They'll know their name. They're smart.
Arlene.
I just think it's harder to say. Like usually, I like having a little shorter name. I could be like, "Hey, let's go."
Wow, the more you know, B.
Arlene, what a dream! What a dream! But I'm actively looking for a new dog. I really have been for months. But and I can have one, but I haven't found one yet.
I was like Team Rescue, Snafu. I was on all of those.
Yeah, I want to save one. That's not what I did with her.
So this guy right here is like the dog whisperer. That's all he did.
How many?
I've got 3 now. I had 4, but my girl passed away a couple years ago.
You had a license because you had so many. You had to get like a
So at 4, you have to get a domestic kennel license in Nebraska.
Really?
So I have 3 is the normal residential number. So I've got 3 now, and then I've also got a cat. But I got 3 big ones. It's German Shepherd mix. He's the littlest one. He's like 70 pounds. Then I've got a Cane Corso mix. He's about 110. And then I've got a big lab mix. He's about 90.
You can't walk all three at the same time, can you?
Oh, God, no. No, not
I didn't think so. That's especially the size. Can you walk two of them at one time?
I don't know if that's the barometer. I have 3 dogs who total about 16, 59 pounds, and I can't walk all 3 of them. So what's that say about me? It's the cords, kid.
Hey, they're feisty.
I'm good. I thought you were going to say something slick. I was like, hey, B, we're supposed to be boys.
I can walk 2 of them at a time because one of them does pull a little, so I can't walk him with anybody. But the other 2
Can
are
I pick
all
that
right.
dog?
Hey, let me ask you something before we get to the picks, because it's Florida related.
Yeah.
And I know you didn't see him a ton because he was hurt, but can Caleb Banks play dead? Like, is he good?
Well, yeah, just like you just said, he only played against FSU in the first half against LSU. He was playing really, really good late when 24 when we had the wins over LSU and Ole Miss. Those were the 2 games that he got big time on the NFL scouts' radars because he dominated those games and was all over. Was Dart and who was LSU's quarterback 2 years? Oh, Nussmeier. He was all over those guys in those 2 games, and that's when he really shined. And then he's got all the measurables that are gonna, make them, like him at the combine and all that stuff. He's got great.
He said he was the best D lineman there, and he could play anything from a shade to a 9.
But hey, I don't have faith in him staying healthy, so I'm not. I wouldn't be like clamoring to make him a first-round pick because he wasn't healthy much that first year when he was at Florida. So, and then last year not healthy at all. So, I think he's a risk as a first-round pick, but he's got talent if he can stay healthy for sure.
B, let's take a look at the college basketball slate on Saturday. There's some pretty good ones coming up. It's an interesting weekend. I know we don't have official lines out yet, but one that I'm looking at and right in your backyard, not just pandering to you as a Florida guy, but Arkansas at Florida is fascinating.
Yeah, Arkansas is playing fantastic. I think they're the second best team in the SEC. I like them ahead of Tennessee, ahead of Vandy, certainly ahead of Auburn. I like them better than Bama as well. Although Bama played really good without Phylon last night. We can talk about Bama, Tennessee after this. But Arkansas is playing great. But Florida is now, we're one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the country. But on Saturday when I was in Oxford, we had our best single-game three-point shooting. We went 11 of 22, 50%. Last night, 8 of 18, 44%. So, I thought we were a top 3 to 5 team in the country, even when we were shooting horrible from 3. Now that we're shooting it from 3, I don't know that outside of Michigan and Arizona, you're going to have a hard time beating Florida. So I made the line 11.5, and Ken Palm has it 8. I think it's going to be a lot closer to 11.5. But if it's single digits, or I'm probably just going to be betting the Gators blind right now. They are, and by the way, if it's single digits, Florida's 8-0 against the spread in their last 8 as a single-digit favorite, and Florida is 13-1 straight up, 11-3 against the spread. Their last 14, and 11 of those wins have been by 14 or more. So at home, if it's 12 or fewer, I'm probably going to be on Florida. Hopefully, it'll be around Ken Palm's number of 8, and I'll probably be. Let's see, what did it have the final score? I'll probably be interested in the team total over as well. I got that last night, although barely. It's got the final being 87-79. I would probably take Florida's team total over 87. But the main play would be Florida as a single-digit favorite to Arkansas.
This one seems big for Kentucky, and I get it. They're top 30 in Ken Palm. I think they're top 30 in net rankings, so maybe not. But they're working their way backwards, at least in my opinion, on the seed lines.
Yeah.
And I pay close attention to them because I'm always looking at potential second-round opponents for Nebraska, because that's what we do here is we just assume that Nebraska is going to win an NCAA tournament game. They're 5-8 in quad 1 games. Who knows who they could lose to? They've got Vandy, who is now all of a sudden got more questions than answers to. What do you think there?
So I made Kentucky 2.5. I'm kind of, I know Vandy has Duke Miles back, but I'm starting to downgrade Vandy a little in my mind. So they jump out of that 20-point lead last night, and I tweeted out, I'm taking Georgia plus 17.5 live right now. Georgia came all the way back. Blue Cane made a 3 to tie it. And now Vandy did pull away and win by 8, which was a spread cover for Vandy backers later in the day. But yesterday morning, Vandy was 8.5, 9, even 9.5 at some books. So it was actually a winner for me, not only in the live bet, but I had Georgia plus 9 from yesterday morning. But anyhow, I made Kentucky 2.5. And what are you guys thinking on that number? Because that's not what Ken Palm has. Ken Palm has got Vandy -1. And if I could get Kentucky as a home dog, that would probably be the way I'd go on that one. I hope they don't get in foul trouble. They're short on depth, missing those 3 guys, obviously. But they're still tough to beat them at home. And Vandy had lost 3 of 5 in back-to-back games, but they get the win last night, but still only 3-3 the last 6. If Kentucky's a home dog, I would lean their way. I mean, I'm not implying it would be a play nearly as strong as Florida. Florida will probably be my biggest play of the day.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I'll be honest, that's a stay away for me. I don't really.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, it's a toss-up game.
Yeah, I don't really, and I don't feel like I have a good sense of who either team is well enough right now.
Yep.
To feel good about one way or the other. I do. That Florida Arkansas game is super interesting, but another good one. Moving over to the Big 12, Texas Tech at Iowa State. How are you feeling there?
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. Man, I was so happy for Texas Tech getting that win after losing Toppin on what was that Saturday,
and they played well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm making Iowa State -9, and let's see. I'm going to Ken Palm. Iowa State.
Ken Palm got it at 7.
It's got them 77-70. Yeah, as you said. I don't know that I'm feeling Texas Tech though. Obviously, if I've got the number at 9 and at 7, it's Texas Tech or pass. But I don't know that I'm going to be wanting to get involved with that one.
4 guards. They can handle a little bit of St. John's pressure. There's nobody for Zube though. For Nova, I don't think there hasn't been in the conference. St. John's looked atrocious last night. Nova's capable. What'd you make the number?
I made it 6.5 St. John's way. But first off, let me say there is one place. Well, there's many places in the world I don't want to be today, but certainly at Rick Pitino's practice is one of them. My goodness gracious, I would not want to be at that practice today.
Oh boy!
I made St. John's 6.5. Ken Palm's got it 4. So I would lean Nova and maybe be interested in Nova. I don't know the bounce back though after a couple of brutal Pitino practices. I don't know. Villanova or pass for me there.
All right, let's head to the ACC. Louisville at Clemson. That's an interesting one.
Another tricky team.
Yeah. So Clemson, I know that was their 4th loss in a row to FSU on Saturday. Did they play this week? I'm not sure. So anyway, I made Clemson a 2-point favorite because I don't trust Louisville on the road. I faded them on the road the other night. They're just not very good on the road at all. I think they were 3-4 straight up and 2-5 against the spread going into that the other day. So that makes them 3-5 and 2-6 ATS on the road. So I made Clemson -2, and let's see what we got here. Are you looking at it, Ravi?
Yeah, 2.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Oh, yeah, sure is. It's Clemson -2. And did they?
They haven't played.
Okay, they haven't played. So they've had all week to prepare. And Louisville's terrible on the road. I might be looking at I might be looking at Clemson there, a get right game. And hey, they're getting kind of bubbly. They're very bubbly right now.
Oh yeah.
They need this one. And then they got to go at UNC and then Georgia Tech at home. They need to win 2 out of 3 there to feel pretty good. And then they probably don't want to lose the first game in the ACC tournament. So I think Clemson will step up there. Yeah, I like Clemson in that one.
I've asked this will be the 4th week in a row. Randomly, because again, just paying attention to a lot of college hoops. Is Tennessee good?
That's a good question. They are not anywhere nearly as formidable defensively as they have been throughout much of Rick Barnes' tenure, but they're still pretty good on defense, and they've got more offense than normal with Gillespie and Ament. If Ament and Gillespie are playing really well, I think they're pretty good. I mean, I think they're, I think they can win around a 32 game and be a Sweet 16 team again. I don't know if they're. I think Sweet 16 might be their ceiling, unless Ament and Gillespie are just, but on a night in the Sweet 16, Ament gives them 30 and Gillespie gives them, 23 and 8 assists. Then, maybe. But Sweet 16 might be their ceiling. But I think they've got a decent chance to get there.
Last one, go back to the SEC with that Bama and Tennessee one. If those are two teams that we talked about kind of throughout this, and not sure if they're good. I think you said you like Arkansas better than both of those. As you're looking at that one, you're looking at Gillespie and Ament. Like, how do you feel about the Bama side of that, though?
So since Florida hammered Bama, they're 7-0, but they've kind of had the light side of the SEC schedule. In fact, the only game again, so number 36 in KenPom A&M was their second toughest game in that stretch. Their toughest was Arkansas. They win the double OT instant classic last week. But the schedule's been pretty easy here. But look, without Phylon, and they win by 25 last night and score 100 points. So I made the Vols -2.5 if Phylon plays, and I made them -5 if Phylon doesn't play. And let's see, we've got Tennessee -3 on KenPom, total of 163. That would be Alabama, one of their lowest totals in a while. I would probably be liking the over on that one, because I always like Bama overs unless they get into the 180s or high 170s, which, yesterday it was 172.5 on the total at open. Then I wake up yesterday, it was 175.5. Then it went up to 177.5, and it hit 175. So the line movement was key on that over-under for Bama last night. But if Tennessee's -3 and Phylon's playing, I think I would probably just be looking to the over.
Who has your futures for a national championship besides Florida?
Florida, I've got it 20-1 and 16-1. I've got Arkansas at like 38 and 45. I got Arizona at I think it was 10 back in it was probably before mid-December. I think it was when they were like 5 or 6-0 and had beaten us that I grabbed Arizona. I think I did buy a Tennessee at like 30 back in mid-December, and I wish I hadn't.
Yeah, I think that the rest of them have aged okay, although I don't know if defensively Arkansas has enough to get over the hump there. But
give me to the Elite Eight. I'll find a way to monetize that Arkansas ticket.
I definitely think they can get to the Elite Eight. Beat, we appreciate the time as always. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, y'all. Have a great weekend.
That is Brian Edwards from Major Wager. Let's take a quick break here. We will get to Michael Bruntz from Husker 24/7. That's DBM Ravi Lula. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
Yeah, well, Blackwoods isn't going anywhere. He's had a couple of really good starts on Sunday, so we'll keep the same rotation and have Cooper available out of the pen. And I thought he looked great. The fastball had some finish to it. He's throwing 2 breaking balls in there, mixing in the changeup. So he looked great out of the pen. I think the fastball is going to play up a little bit there. And I'm not saying that's going to be his role moving forward, but I think you could see a potential for him to slide into maybe the day after Blackwoods. Maybe he throws Tuesday. But we'll have him available out of the pen to help us win on the weekend.
Well, the first part of your question, I was kind of on the tad end of that portal window, so got a chance to meet Jasir while he was here on his visit, and then some things family-wise happened, and I got a chance to do some things over Zoom calls with Owen, but you always watch film prior to see what those guys' strengths and weaknesses are. But looking at those guys, they bring an explosive element to the table. They also bring a leverage element to the table, and not saying that because of their height, but because sometimes a guy may be 6'1", but play like he's 6'5". But those guys in that 6'1" to 6'2" range, but play with great leverage and good knee bend. So those aspects of explosiveness, the power, and then strong hands as well that they bring to the table, and then the mentality, because it's something where you just can't shy away from contact in that position, but that's definitely something they've been doing on film in a short period of time.
No doubt. It was very, very fast. And something, to be completely honest with you, 3 years ago wasn't even close to on my radar. And I think what allows me to be comfortable in this situation is the experiences that I've had. Number one, throughout the NFL, the different coordinators that I've been a part of with Darren Rizzi, Bones, Jeremy Springer, who's with the Patriots now. You've got Phil Galliano down in New Orleans, and all those guys that I've made relationships with, still have relationships with, and can be sounding boards for me as I kind of go through the processes and the ebbs and flows of what practice schedule looks like, how to run a meeting, how to decide what information is important, what information is not important, how do you try to build a special teams culture, which isn't as challenging here because of how Coach Rule has everything set up. And, you know, our base fundamentals here are practicing really hard, giving great effort, having grit. That's a big thing that we're talking about this year. And all of those things encapsulate what we want to do and what we need to do on special teams. So having that comfortability level with those people and walking into this building and having that kind of base already set allows us.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Rule hired you guys obviously to keep the same system in place. Do you see any windows to add your own influence on anything? I guess what's your mindset with
Yeah, there'll be a lot of our influence on it. I think, you know, what was really good about last year was the fundamentals and how fundamentals of special teams can translate to other areas of the field. So when you come into special teams period, it's not a complete one-off. I do think schematically there's a lot of room for us to grow. And that's where Nick and I think will be really good and can be creative and create some different things because of that.
Hopefully this is the only time we ask you about him, but Jack Wills, you brought in a long snapper.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lula here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Michael Bruntz of Husker 24/7. Bruntz, what's going on, buddy?
Not much. What's up?
Hi, Mike.
Does our room have a new studio smell?
It smells like hot lights.
It's burning flesh.
Yes.
It no longer smells like bacon when we get to the end of the show, which is
I kind of missed that,
which
though.
was kind of a standard over at the restaurant.
Hopefully, you were eating bacon.
No,
Somebody was cooking something.
It was almost never ready by the time we were leaving. So sometimes I would just loiter like an old lost puppy, and waiting for somebody to say, "Here, would you like some bacon?"
Thought you never asked.
It never panned out that way, Bruntz, because as you know, I am extremely silly.
Yes.
I don't know why anybody just don't I look like a guy that would like bacon?
I mean, I know you like bacon, so it's hard for me to differentiate.
Yeah.
I don't know what somebody that likes bacon looks like.
I know what a guy looks like that doesn't like bacon.
Especially if you were you stare at somebody long enough, you should get some bacon, I guess, right?
Yeah, right. It's like
tear him down.
It's the equivalent to, hey, are you gonna eat that?
It's like my dog when I'm eating anything. There's like, you gonna finish that?
I was so glad I wasn't in Lincoln yesterday, Bruntz, because occasionally I'll ask people for stuff that I like that they're wearing. I would have asked Coach Maher for that
100%. I thought the exact same thing.
That little zip up he had was pretty saucy. But would you find that weird?
Is that a special teams only? I noticed it. I always noticed the new gear. Keep an eye out.
And Coach Rule's got a guy that does some custom stuff for him too. So I don't know if that was part of the deal, but I'm like, that's got DB written all over it.
He was wearing an Adidas boxing T-shirt. I saw the last time, wasn't it?
Yep. Yeah. He's just, I don't know, man. He's got a guy. It must be rough being the head coach, except when people want you to do better than back-to-back bowl seasons and win 8 games. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Bruntz, I thought before we get to football and basketball, would you like to let Bruntz
I
know
was
that
going to tell him.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, because he's wearing the A's hat.
Yeah.
We had a conversation about you yesterday, Bruntz.
I was
yeah, he was talking about how he low-key kind of roots for the A's, and not just because he likes you, but he likes the lineup, so he kind of wants to be right about that.
I was trying to talk you into positivity last year early in preseason, but it's even better this year. Like 1 through 9, that's a top 10 lineup in baseball.
Yeah, it worries me. The pitching in a AAA park worries me. That was kind of what got him last year. Severino looked like he had never pitched before when he was pitching at home. So that's a concern. But no, they can hit. We can talk about Moneyball if we want, but there's very much like a cycle to the A's stuff. I don't want to get into it too much here, but you basically have like every five or 6 years, you get like a fun lineup.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's the cycle of things. Then everybody goes to the Braves and Yankees and wherever else.
Is this like pre-Mike Sweeney and Giambi? And
this is like good Matt Chapman, Olson.
Good pull.
Trying to think who else would have been on those teams.
It's not a bad pull.
Laurie when he could hit a little bit.
Jed
Lowry, excuse me.
Ravi, yeah. Red Sox. Yeah, that's the only reason I know Jed.
Yeah. Brief Astro. Yes.
Well, I hope you have an enjoyable season. I know how much more fun it is to root for your team when they give anything worth getting excited about. So I'm hoping for good things for you, Bruntz.
Considering tickets will be about $12, not including travel, but as we've noted, you're the greatest road travel partner ever. Are you going to try to see like the 21st season of Verlander, the 19th of Scherzer? Like, I mean, there's going to be some nostalgia going on in the AL with these guys' victory laps.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought of it. The only trip I've got on the docket, I might go up to Minnesota and watch Minnesota and the A's play baseball, which I'm assuming I'll probably be able to get him for about $5.
Would you take BC with you?
I'll offer. He and I have done that trip before. We did like a night game followed by a day game and then head home.
That's not a bad trip.
Gosh, I wish I had a friend. I would do that.
You have lots of friends, DB.
You want to come along?
Not to that particular series, but
no, I don't.
I'd like a friend. I tried traveling with Ravi once, and that was a grade A miserable experience.
You were fine. I'd go down to Kansas City with you. Go watch the Dodgers. Well, they probably won't play again. But
are you gonna drive like a grandpa?
You can drive if you want.
You got it.
You get to St. Louis, and well, from you guys, it's a little bit farther for you guys, but 6.5.
Yeah, my sister's in St. Louis too, so I would do that.
You can get
there.
there.
You go.
I
Dodgers and Cardinals make it happen.
Oh, they got to hit. St. Louis has got to hit reset. It's an interesting year for St. Louis. That franchise is used to being at least fairly competitive. This is
there's a lot of people down there keep an angry book. Like that's what they do down there. Everybody's got their scorecards out. Best fans in baseball.
Freaking pencil leads.
I don't even really recognize this franchise right now.
Yeah,
I mean, to be honest,
I can't imagine they'll stand for that very long.
No, not in that place.
You don't even recognize what they're doing.
I mean,
I don't even recognize
Nolan
what we're
Gorman. Here we come. Oh, like what are they gonna do? I don't know. All right, Bruntz, I suppose we should get down to Nebraska. Strictly business. You want to start with football or basketball? The choice is yours, my friend.
To be fair, I have yet to watch the full game last night, but let's go with football for that.
All right, like Michael Jackson, you are not alone in watching a full game. I'm sure Ravi didn't either.
No, I got them both.
Not to throw you under the bus.
I got Nebraska in. I got Creighton in. Got little bits and pieces of Arkansas in.
Just trying to get in a pot shot.
Yeah, I know. It's because you're mean to me.
Let's go. So one thing that Coach Maher said yesterday, I thought this was interesting. He was talking about strategy-wise kind of scheme things that they could build on. That, it was the clip that we just played. If you want to hear it in its entirety, I know Shane sometimes struggles a little bit to get that clip. Do you have it ready to go, Shane?
I heard it. I was there. I wrote it.
Okay. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
So did that catch you off guard? He's supposed to be the young pup that doesn't, that wasn't groomed correctly, right? Like this job is too big for him. But did that surprise you that that's the direction he took it?
No, not really. I mean, I thought it was. Here's what I thought was interesting, and a couple things. The benefits of having played for, what was it, 8 or 9 NFL teams.
Mm-hmm.
You meet a lot of folks in football that way. And he was talking about just, the Rolodex that he has, guys that will actually answer the phone for him and kind of the sounding boards that he has. Having covered Brett for a long time, I mean, he's a pretty even keel guy. I think he's a pretty astute guy. I think he knows what he doesn't know, and I think he's willing to go find out. And when he's kind of talked about the schematic improvements that they feel like they can make, I mean, I think that's where you lean on guys, that have been doing it for a long time and say, look, what direction can we go with this? Where can we build on this? Because I mean that. It's okay to say that Nebraska did a lot of good things in special teams last year. Like there was a lot of improvement there. There's also, things that I think they can do to not only put their own spin on it, but also to maybe make it a more consistent group. They were not that at all times at the end of the season. I think there's things they can maybe coach a little bit better that'll help them. The decision-making stuff, I think, is probably towards the top of it. And when you take it out, when you don't on kickoffs specifically. But, he said, after spring ball, we're going to go around, we're going to go see some people that I trust and that he's worked with before and kind of pick their brains. I mean, I think that's the way to go about it. When you're stepping into a job like that for the first time. So I'm kind of eager to see what that looks like. I've never met Nick Humphrey, but from the way that Brett Maher talked about it, they're very different personality-wise. I'm guessing he probably is a little bit more outgoing or verbose than what Brett Maher is, just based on what he said yesterday. But I don't know. I mean, I think, I know there's a lot of hand wringing about the change there, but I think Brett Maher is a guy that's going to, not approach this thing with any ego and really go in there and learn and put together a really good, a good approach that I think builds on the good things that Nebraska did last year. Cause I think that's just the smart way to go about it.
Bruntz, is special teams the hardest? Is it the hardest eval to take what it was in a vacuum in terms of quality versus what it was compared to what we had seen previously? Does that make sense?
Like why? The why?
Is that the area on the team that it's the hardest to do that with?
I think it's a challenge. I mean, I think, even go back to last year when Nebraska, was able to block the punt and return that for a touchdown, or when they had, one of the long kickoff returns that they had. A lot of it's just recognizing the looks you're going to get and being able to kind of take advantage of that. And it felt to me like the way that guys would talk about it was like they knew going in that they would have some kind of advantage. They had found something that they could exploit. And there's a lot of moving pieces and there's a lot of coaches. I mean, there's a lot of people involved with coaching special teams. It's not just Brett Maher. It's not just, Mike Eckler. There's different coaches coaching returners. There's different coaches on coverage, that kind of stuff. So there's a, kind of making sure that all that stuff is coordinated is very important. But also I think your point is correct. I mean, it's difficult to say like there's just one thing that's wrong or there's just this little piece of it that's, not working. I mean, I do think you could say a couple of years ago, I mean, you could point to snapping being a pretty big issue. I mean, I think that was pretty clear and easy to see. But, I think when you're getting into kind of the fine-tooth comb stuff of how do you take that group to the next step or build on it, I mean, it is a very complex thing to kind of look at. And I don't think you'll really know much this spring about that. I mean, it's one of those things that you're going to have to wait till the fall. You're going to have to see it to see, what that actually kind of looks like.
So, Bruntz, if you were talking about special teams, and I think there was kind of this clear line of demarcation in terms of how effective it was, right? Although it was much better in total a year ago than a year ago. When you're watching the special teams this year, and I think I asked this to BC, so in a similar vein, are you more interested in when Nebraska's kicking or Nebraska's receiving kicks in terms of where you see special teams from an eval standpoint?
Yeah, I think I'm probably more interested when Nebraska's receiving. Like I said, I mean, I think sometimes the decision making, and this isn't just this past year, but in previous years too, it felt like there was not a. It felt like in the second that a guy's deciding whether to bring the ball out or not, there's not like there was like that just little pinch of question about whether you should bring it out or not. I think that's cost Nebraska in the past. The field position certainly is, at times a struggle because of that. I'm curious to see, just who's going to be doing it because, Kenneth Williams was the guy towards the end of the season. Ja'Cory Barney was in there as well, but it feels like there's guys on Nebraska's roster right now that could also factor in as returners, in the kick return game, especially, given who's there. So I think that's why I'm intrigued by it. I think, they do need to be a little bit better coverage wise. I think that's one area where you can, improve, especially on kickoffs. But, I am more interested in the return game. Just, I think that's kind of a natural thing anyways, but I think given the turnover that they've had, I'm eager to see if they do anything differently there.
Bruntz, want to move on to the other guys we heard from yesterday in Manning and Corey Brown. If you had a chance to let's say, have 30 minutes with either of those two guys, one or the other, and they would be 100% honest with every question you ask, which would you be more interested in talking to?
Probably Corey Brown.
He's pretty specific.
Yeah. I mean, even yesterday, and I mean, he didn't have like the truth serum IV hooked up, but I mean, you could tell there was, they got some work to do. I think that's probably my takeaway from what was said, and maybe not even said, out loud. I mean, I think there's some work to do there. You've got some interesting guys at that spot, some guys that have played a lot, but what he said about Riley Van Poppel, I think was, I don't think came as a surprise, as a guy that, there's still a lot of growing to do in spite of how much football he's played to this point in his career. So yeah, I mean, I think I'd go there, and they're going to be asked to play differently than they have in the past, and I think that group in particular this spring is going to be really important for getting guys ready to go and getting guys to be able to play at a level that it sounds like that Rob Orich is going to demand from those defensive tackles.
Listen, I said this is probably 3 weeks ago, maybe, and this wasn't a shot necessarily at Braden, but I said, the D line will be better this year than last year, just for two simple reasons. Number one, they're a year older, but number two, just the fundamental teaching, right? A guy coming from the NFL with a lot more ready-made finished products is not always going to make an easy transition to the collegiate game when those guys are young and need to mature, right? Controlling the room, teaching the fundamentals, things like that. You get the sense you don't have to worry about that with Coach Brown at all. And I agree with you kind of how he said it without saying it. Getting back to the fundamentals of violent hands and just knockback and pad level, like just old school D-line terms that he just speaks so candidly about. I think they can't help but to be better than a year ago just by default.
Yeah, well, and I think it was Van Poppel who said, the guy played defensive tackle. He played it in the Big Ten. Like that immediately as a player gets your attention, like, and commands a level of respect as well. Like, and I think given his, where he's coached as well, I mean, I think you kind of have to have more of an eye to development. And, you're going to have to bring guys along and coach them hard at a place like South Dakota. Like you're playing a little bit of a different approach. That was what he said. I mean, that there's more in the defense now than there used to be. But I mean, I think when you are coaching at places like at the FCS level, when you're coaching in the MAC, you do have to stress the fundamental stuff a lot more. Like you have probably more work to do to shrink the learning curve for guys, especially when they're younger in their careers. So I do think there's a benefit to that for sure. And I think, it's not like last year was a lost year, but I get the sense that the expectation is that this is going to be a bit of a crash course this spring for how to play the defensive tackle spot for those guys.
I'm just telling you, great entities, great teams, great organizations. They excel in the mundane. So, I mean, that's often the difference between good and great, is when things seem routine and those types of people aren't above doing those things anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Some people get to a certain point and they're like, oh God, do we still have to do this? And it's like the greats know that it's just part of what they do. I think that part's going to be fascinating. And I was nerding out last year, Bruntz. I was just telling this ridiculous story about kind of when I fell in love with Van Poppel as a person. and it was after a game, and this will make sense to you guys, and Bruntz, you can take it after this, but he, I was talking to him about defensive line play and kind of how he felt, and he's very smart. And he said, it was USC, and he was talking about the run game, and he said, he said the double teams or the pressure in playing when I'm in a 2 versus when I'm in a 3 tech or playing the 1, he said, sometimes I just want to come to the sidelines and say, hey, listen, can I get in a shade, or can I get in a 1, or, can I get in a 3, which let me know I was just captivated by he could understand the difference playing head up versus in a gap, but he wasn't comfortable playing in both worlds. Right. And it didn't dawn on me at the time. I just was nerding out that we were having like this high level kind of football talk about feeling how and where a double team comes from and now that I look back at it, I'm like, he's going to be markedly better just by zeroing in alone, right? Just base fundamentals as opposed.
Do you think he's the only one?
No.
I mean, I'm not. It sounds flippant. It's not flippant. Like I get the sense that last season there was a lot of guys that,
and I told
guys that were not comfortable with what they're going to have to do, knowing
what it was going to turn into.
Yeah,
I just came back that Monday and I was like, oh my gosh, like I had this conversation. I didn't know it was going to be this thing.
Yeah. No, I'll be interested to see. I mean, I'll be interested to see with the schematic change and just different approach, how there's guys that have been around for multiple years. Not if the light goes on, but if all of a sudden you start seeing a little bit more, just guys seem comfortable with what they're being asked to do. Like, I don't know. I'm eager to see if that'll be the case.
Bruntz, what did you make of, I think it was Roy Manning talking about the edges and the kind of the body profiles that they were looking for. He got really specific between, the 6'2" to 6'5" and the 240 to the 275. Like, when you're hearing him walk through that level of specificity with body types and then looking at the Nebraska roster and kind of who might fit into some of those, like, how do you feel Nebraska stacks up, at least from a physical profile standpoint, to what it sounds like Coach Manning is looking for?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, well, and he also said too, you even if you got a guy that's 6'5", a long levered guy at 6'5" may not know how to play with it. Like, doesn't understand leverage, doesn't understand like the technique part of it. And I think that was kind of what I took away from the defensive guys yesterday was, there's a very clear picture of what they want to teach and kind of what they want, how they want things to be learned. And I don't know if part of that is, they understand, very clearly what Rob Orich wants in his defense. I think that's part of it. I think part of it also is just, understanding the you got to teach the fundamental part. They very much want this particular picture, and they know how to get there. So I don't know. I mean, that was kind of my takeaway yesterday was, okay, there's not a lot of wishy-washiness on which way they want to go with things and how they want things to look and go. And I think too, I'm sure with Manning, the ability to just be around and see guys move during bowl practices, there was probably a lot of advantage to being able to just kind of have a baseline of like what you're going to be working with and what guys need to work on. And I think that's maybe not talked about enough, but it felt like there was a lot of learning going on with those guys that were able to get there early on and kind of see guys run through practices.
Yeah, just developing a Superman crush. He was talking about, Coach Orich was talking about Coach Manning's ability to teach and own in on guys at the top of their pass rush, which is extremely specific, Bruntz. We're talking about being in phase after you've gotten vertical, quarterback's kind of in your sight line. Like, we just assume like oh, you just get there, right? But to hear guys talk about, hey, when you're in phase and you're at the top of this rush, like what's my next move, and envision having success by getting this guy to the ground. I told Ravi, I said, that's a sneaky little point that Coach Orich talked about last week that a lot of people just assume happens, or even in your drill work, you don't really own in on it. You just say, hey, this is the stun, or, these are our hands or whatever. But it's like when you get specific about being in phase at the top of a move, like, I don't know, man. It oozed attention to detail, because so often last year we saw guys around the quarterback and getting close to the quarterback without the ability to necessarily get home. I thought that was fascinating, because it could easily just go over our heads, right? Or you could miss what he's actually saying. But to be specific about that is clearly something that is a skill.
Yeah. I was thinking about this too, and kind of along those lines. I mean, when you're talking, you're like fine pointing that stuff. Like, doesn't it make sense now that Nebraska just wanted to get to the football fast? Like, like you do the 6 weeks of training and then just get right into what feels like on defense a lot of learning, a lot of teaching, a lot of heavy lifting type stuff. I'm sure there's the install piece of it as well, but that kind of clicked for me yesterday too. Was like, okay, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be figured out here and coached and taught. And I mean, I think it was smart to just kind of get right into it. I'm sure players appreciated it too, rather than having to do the extra long mat drills and everything. So we'll see what comes of that.
Bruntz, as I know you said you hadn't watched the basketball game yet, which is totally fine. But as Nebraska gets into this final stretch of the West Coast trip and then Iowa as they come home, I think there's still an outside shot at a 2 seed if they do well in the Big Ten tournament. How do you feel now about the team, where they're at, how they're playing versus, let's say, a couple weeks ago when they lost 3 out of 4, although all to very good teams? Do you feel better, worse, about the same where they are and how they're playing?
Yeah, I think there's probably a little bit more nervousness, I guess. And I guess I'm comparing it more to like January, when it felt like things were really easy. Like the offense was flowing, everything looked great. And then, even there's been at times against teams that are not Michigan, Purdue, or Illinois, where the offense has just kind of sputtered or just hasn't looked as crisp for whatever reason. So I guess there's a little bit of concern there. But I think the thing that you kind of have to, as great as things were in January, I think you also kind of have to remember that there's really no, you kind of have to put the style points out of your mind a little bit and just accept the win, however it's going to come. And I think that was kind of the lesson last night. Was you really didn't look great right from the get-go. Maryland was kind of getting what they were going to get in this to like the first half of the second half. But I think the credit to this team is that the thing they've done all season is, even when it hasn't looked good, they've figured out a way to kind of pull out of the tailspin, whether that's a big play, whether it's somebody just making a shot or whatever. They just kind of have that final kick that's really, pretty valuable and will be down the stretch here. So I don't know that I feel a ton better. I mean, maybe it's just, basketball in late February, early March, where things just kind of tighten up naturally, this time of year. But I do think that they kind of have some of those intangible things that you like to see, and kind of a focus even when things aren't going well, that probably pays off a little bit when you're, late in the season and talking about seeding and Big Ten standings and all that other stuff.
Hey, I want to close out here, Bruntz, with baseball, and I'm kind of building on Gavin's performance. They swung the bats well again, at least late against Florida State. Do you feel like you know enough yet on how they want to play offensively to complement this staff?
Yeah, I do. I mean, It's interesting because some of the pieces that come in and out of the lineup, Mac Moyer at the top of the lineup, I think maybe changes how you play a little bit because I think he can run a little bit better than some of the other guys they've maybe had there. I do think this is an offense that can chase a big inning, and I think that Will Bolt is willing to let them chase it. Like I think that's the thing that's maybe a little bit different is, they've got the run game there. If they want it, they can try to sacrifice. They've done it a little bit, not as much as maybe what they've done historically. But I mean, I think with the way that Carey, Overbeek, probably Kitchens, I would put in that group too. Certainly Sanderson. They've got guys that can hit for extra bases, and I think they're willing to let those guys swing it versus having to force action on the base paths or give up outs with sacrifices and things like that. So I think coming back from Texas, the feeling over there, and I think it's true, was that they probably should have been 2-1 after that weekend. Like they probably should have beaten Louisville on Friday. They were mostly in control of the games on Friday and Saturday. I think they do have to, one thing they have to figure out is you have to figure out who you can trust over a 3-game series out of that bullpen in certain roles. Like when you get into the 6th inning, who are you reliably handing that ball off to that's going to go in and get you outs, especially if there's guys on base, because that's been a little bit of an issue for them, is bringing in guys in tight situations. So, closer, we'll see when they get into a closing situation what that looks like. But I do think, for 2 weekends, I think they've played pretty good baseball right out of the gates. So I think that's a positive sign. And also, as you start turning the page with potential midweeks, Nebraska's got 4 pretty good frontline guys that they're going to be able to roll out there.
Bruntz, can they go 2-1 at Auburn this week?
They can. I think they can. Will they? I don't know. Auburn's an interesting team. I mean,
it is a good team.
They got it, they looked great in Texas. They got absolutely waxed by Cincinnati in a midweek. They had to walk off West Georgia last night. But they've got really good frontline pitching. They've got 4 or 5 guys that were hitting over 400 going into the week that are regulars in their lineup. And, that's I think a ballpark that the ball tends to get out of there in a hurry too. So Nebraska's offense especially is going to have to be ready to stand in the ring and trade some punches, I think.
Hey, so Bruntz, are you kind of paying attention to the rest of the conference yet, or when do you start to dial in on what everybody else is doing?
I've been glancing around a little bit. Michigan's better than I thought they would be.
Are
so
they
far.
though?
I think it can be. They looked all right last weekend.
Yeah.
They I wouldn't have said that they were a top 5 team in the league going into it. Beyond that, I mean, it's still UCLA and everybody else. I think Nebraska, when the coaches pick their
most people's number 1 in the country, UCLA. Well, especially after McNeese and LSU.
But I do think at the start of the season, I would have been comfortable flipping Nebraska and having them probably 3rd. And I think that's probably where I'd put them now. I mean, I think Nebraska's got the ability to play with about anybody in the conference. So it's hard too. I mean, it's still early, and you start seeing some result. Purdue beats Oregon State. Michigan State had a great opening weekend against Louisville, and then maybe not so great against Texas. So it's still a little early, but I mean, I think the takeaway is that I think Nebraska is there was kind of like an ideal of where you hope they would be this season, and I think they can get to it. I mean, they're a veteran team that plays like a veteran team. That's a good sign.
Michael Bruntz, Husker 24/7. Bruntz, appreciate the time as always. We'll talk to you next week.
Yep, see you guys.
Thanks, Bruntzy. Sounds so standard. Well, we'll talk to you next week. And thanks for your time. And we'll talk to you next week.
What would you like me to say?
Peace.
Peace up. A-Town.
Deuces. Holla at your boy.
You should just be like, hey, deuces.
Yes.
All right, next time we have Bruntz. That's how I'm gonna sign off. Just be like, Bruntz. Deuces.
Holla at your boy.
We're out. Speaking of out, we're gonna take a quick break here. We will be right back to wrap up the show. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lula. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
Yeah, I think just alignment and approach, alignment and how he sees the game of football, believes in stopping the run. I think that's big. If you look over the course of my career, I've worked for a number of different coaches and different philosophies, and you take different things from everyone. But getting around Rob, just a week or two when we met, it was pretty clear that he placed a huge priority on stopping the run, and I believe in that personally. And then just watching how he navigates the role of coordinator, because you're coordinating men who all have experience, and you're coordinating players, and just his approach and how he weaves through that kind of seamlessly and effectively. And I'm a big Rob Orge fan. I think that's no secret, and so just looking to continue to improve and do the same things here or better.
I'd say just confidence is one thing going in. Not being a starter last year, obviously that's something new I got to develop, but the confidence I have in my teammates to make plays behind me too is unbelievable. I know every time a ball gets hit, there's a chance it's going to be made no matter how hard, so knowing that is really good. I added a little bit of weight, but no, definitely pitches. Last year I was heavy on the fastballs with a curveball too. Developed a changeup, a cutter, kind of like a hybrid curveball slider I throw too, and just any count, as long as I can land it. Just got those 4 pitches that can throw at any time.
Yeah, honestly, this has been one of the easier transitions. The guys on the team have been super welcoming, the coaches also. But just being able to come in here, understand the standard, the culture, made it a pretty easy transition. Yeah, no, he definitely gets out there at practice and shows us that, he's still an athlete for sure. But yeah, being able to be coached from a guy that was at a school like Michigan, played in the league, it definitely helps a lot because you know that he knows what it takes. So yeah, being able to take any little gem that I have from him is really good.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Yeah, I think they'd have the length because when I watch high school tape, most of the tall, long guys really don't know how to use any of their length whatsoever. They're 6'5", but like they're really not elongating and leaning into guys and keeping guys separated. So like from a development standpoint, even if they're like a 5-star, they walk through the door and they have so much room to grow and improve and understand how to use what they have, and so that's where the experience in my shoes help, right, to kind of show them like, hey, you ain't even activating what you got yet, but we're going to get you there. So
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lula here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. Want to remind you, make sure you give our friends over at Next Gen Mail Medical a call, 402-614-9700. Whether you need, I don't think they can make you any taller. So Coach Manning wants you on his defensive line, but might be able to help you put on a little muscle, depending on what you're looking for. The peptides, the testosterone, they will take care of you, whatever you need, and they will take great care of you just like they do of DB and myself. 402-614-9700. So Coach Manning made me think of something. I had a question.
I'm glad somebody could.
Well, I didn't say it was anything good, but I did think of something.
Well, it's just good to have you thinking.
So he's talking about defensive ends and kind of the 5-stars coming out, and they still got a lot to work on. So it made me curious, in your opinion, you've been around a lot of high school ball in your day. What position, it doesn't have to be with the staff you've been on specifically, but what position do you think struggles the most in terms of coaching at the high school level? Like by the time they get to college, you're like, I've got the most work to do with these guys.
Ooh, I would say O-line.
Okay.
I'd say O-line.
Just too many, hey, I'm bigger and stronger than everybody else.
Yeah, and it's I think good, really good, high quality offensive line coaches are hard to come by.
I don't even think it's that common in college to have great offensive line coaches, right?
It's just hard.
Yeah.
And, just because you played it doesn't necessarily always make you a really good coach either, right? So sometimes it's, it's just about meeting people where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say offensive line. I don't know if I could get much pushback on that.
No, probably not. Now, and as soon as you said it, that makes sense. I mean, I do think there's actually some really good quarterback coaching at the high school level.
I agree.
I thought maybe wide receiver.
That's probably two.
I just don't know that you get great wide receiver coaching at the high school level.
I would agree.
I think it's another one of those where it's like, hey, this guy's physically better than you. You figure it out. You kind of go out there. You don't get a lot of the
more difficult than defensive back. So I would for sure put it, because there are some good DB coaches.
Sure. Yeah.
There's some really good DB coaches, but you don't hear a lot of, oh man, that guy's, he's an elite level wide receiver coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would probably put wide receiver too.
I was kind of trying to think
and plus sometimes you can just run by guys.
You're right. I think it's a hard, so I was trying to think of the ones that I think are hard evals coming from high school to college, and wide receiver for me is one of them, just because you can't and I don't know.
I mean, there's so many intangibles. I remember seeing, was it McQuitty? I loved McQuitty. Was he the guy, light-skinned guy to St. Louis? He's probably like 18 or 19.
I think so. Is it
I thought
Javon?
McQuitty. Yeah, I thought McQuitty was like can't miss.
Yeah.
I watched him at Friday Night Lights, and I think wide receiver is difficult.
I think it's a hard eval.
It's a difficult evaluation.
And so the ones that I mean, obviously offensive line is a great call, and I wasn't thinking of that one because I think that's a hard eval too, because you just have guys that can be bigger, stronger than everybody else, and you don't get a good sense necessarily of what their technique is and that type of thing. I also think running back can be kind of a challenging eval. I don't think it's as hard as wide receiver, but you do get a lot of I can just get to the outside and run by everybody for a lot of those guys, or I'm bigger, stronger, faster than everyone. I don't necessarily, you get the famous story with Derrick Henry where it's like, they never taught me how to do anything, right? I need you to chill for a minute, Coach Saban. Yeah. Nobody ever taught me how to do anything in high school. I was just a freak of nature, right? So I think running back is, and it's a little bit different question than the coaching versus the eval, but I think running back can be kind of a tricky eval in high school too.
Yeah,
you have a better sense for it than I do.
It's a little easier for me, although I don't know. It's hard with what coaches are looking for at the next level now because, you know, they're so specific. You know, is this a 3-down guy?
Mhm.
Is this a 3rd-down guy?
Well, and then scheme and as well, right? Like,
Yeah.
hey, this guy's really good at counter versus stretch
Zone
versus duo
or whatever. Yeah, that's actually.
I don't think we talk about that hardly at all with running backs.
It's kind of a big deal,
right?
It's a really big deal. You see running backs change locales in the NFL all the time, and sometimes people wonder what happened.
Mhm.
You know, to the good or to the bad.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just
Like,
blocking.
where'd this guy come from?
It's just blocking schemes.
Yeah. Like, hey, I'm comfortable. This fits my running style
Yeah.
better than is that okay? So that brings up a different interesting question, I think, is so running back obviously can be super scheme, skill set dependent. We talked about with Corey Brown, Roy Manning, the like defensive and with Riley Van Poppel, like defensive line can be super scheme and skill set dependent on how you look. You know, you had that kind of run in the NFL where people would sign corners and be like, oh, I want them to be a man corner, but they are used to being a zone corner, like super scheme. Like, what position for you is the most? And I'm going to take
Scheme
quarterback
dependent?
out of it because I think quarterback we all kind of understand is a little system dependent. Like, which of those other ones to you are? And obviously, you've got zone versus man blocking in offensive line as well.
I'll take offensive line out of it because I think
Again,
that's
too-
the easy
too
answer.
obvious. Yeah.
I'll go secondary.
Okay.
Right, because there's so many different techniques. You know, do I want to? Am I press man? Am I going to bail? Some coaches now don't like backpedaling.
Mhm.
You know, some guys are half turn guys, and then the coverages.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Am I 2-eye safety? Am I single eye safety? Am I
Yeah.
corners? Am I?
It's just I would probably say secondary
Because there's
secondary is actually kind of hard for me to evaluate too.
Yeah.
It really is because, you know, you can get away with a lot of things in high school that
Don't
you
fly.
just can't at the next level. An easier eval for me would be at the safety spot.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
much more for me than like
More
let's
of
say
a
playing,
one-to-one
playing corner
comparison.
Yeah, like I can tell, you know, if you can get into the box, can you get to the half, or you have range. Like you can see that.
Where corners you can physically sort of
Yeah, and a lot of it has to
people.
be with how your secondary coach or your coordinator likes to play defense.
Sure.
I mean, you know, Coop was a big man-to-man guy.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, coming out of high school playing a ton of zone, if you weren't used to playing within 3-4 feet of a guy,
you get real uncomfortable.
It makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I would probably say secondary after O-line.
Is when you're looking at secondary and some of those specifics, how much within the different, because I mean, obviously you got the man versus zone principles, which are way different. How different are, in terms of an adjustment, are kind of the different types of zones you can run in a secondary for a guy that's trying to come from high school?
Well, there's a ton. You know, you could play palms, you could play 2, you could play 3, you could play, you know, quarter, half. There's you can play matchup. There's more than a handful.
Yeah. How hard is it to adjust between some of those zones versus like going from a man to some of those zone concepts? Because I would think going from a man to like a matchup is maybe easier than going from, say, like a quarters to a matchup. But I might be off there.
I don't know. That's kind of fascinating. Would I rather go from man to zone if I had to learn the one, or zone to man? I probably rather go man to zone because it's I mean, man to man's tough when you get better receivers, but concept wise, not so much.
Pretty simple. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But the more we have this conversation, I do think secondary is kind of hard to read.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's a guy that I like coming out of high school that I'm waiting to kind of make his mark at Nebraska, and that's a guy like Tanner Turch.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, Turch has a lot of the skills that I think I would like in a secondary player, but you know, then you got to be able to come out of the half and play in space and limit two-way goes, which a lot of times is not really a thing in high school, unless you play it that way. And we were fortunate because where I coach, I mean, you have to play it like that if you want to play if you want to play safety at our place.
Yeah. So when let's say you're evaluating secondary talent, I know there's certain things you can teach. Like Coach Manning was talking about teaching skills and that being one of the most important thing about football. But since we're talking secondary, I'll stay there. Is there a skill you'd be looking for where it's like, hey, that's actually something I kind of need a guy to be able to do naturally? I know eyes are a big thing. You know, at least it seems like teaching guys how to have better eyes and better early recognition is really, really challenging. It sort of seems like you either have it or you don't. Like, is it that? Is it early play recognition? Is it eyes? Or like, is there a skill that you're like, man, if he can't do that, I don't love my chances to get what I need out of him?
So if I'll just limit it to physical attributes,
sure.
Because like pre-snap awareness and obviously the ability to deduce plays is
it's kind of
it's really good. Which is, you know, one of the cool little things about what Coach Brown said yesterday, talking D-line, which we don't hear this enough, is play tendencies and fitting in the run game via formations. A lot of times we want to do things like formation rec for our D-line, and we'll talk ourselves out of it because we're like, it's too much.
Yeah.
You know, we'd like to move to, you know, offset backs or away from backs because we can easily get tendency, but can D-line pick it up, or do we have to tell them?
Gotcha.
You know, I like to hear Coach Brown say stuff like that, because if you can play that way via formations, like where are my run threats?
Yeah.
It's just a game changer.
Just because it simplifies things so much?
Oh, 100%.
See, that's the thing.
You know, I listen to Luke Kuechly. He'll tell you, in this formation, there's only this and this that they can do to me.
Yeah.
So based on what our defense is, this is what I'm doing. And you listen to him talk through it, and it's like, well, why can't everybody think like that? You know, because it's true.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, it's funny. I had somebody ask me one time.
I can either get reached or I can get scooped. I can, you know, they may base me. I can get the double here. Well, if they double and this is an offset back, this is probably where I need to work back to.
Yeah.
Right. Like the more you can do those kinds of things, obviously, the more complete you could be. But if I was going to take a skill set of somebody in the secondary, it's either probably body control or like his spatial awareness. Right? Where am I relative to where I need to be?
Does that include like navigating traffic?
Oh, yeah.
In terms of spatial awareness?
Oh, yeah.
Because things get messy there a lot, right?
Yeah,
especially if you're trying to get downhill.
I mean, how many times do you see these guys running over routes and they're actually coming to the safety? Like
they're running towards you.
They're running towards you.
And they still end
up going by you.
Yeah. A lot.
Right? It's like,
well, that was the Jeremiah Smith touchdown a couple years ago, right?
Yeah,
with the over route.
Yeah,
and it's like running at the safety.
Get out of your back pedal.
It's like this is he's coming.
No, it was SC. It was SC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he's running the over route.
Yeah,
and he's coming to you.
Yeah,
like you're threatening. He's threatening my space. Right. Get out of your back pedal.
Yeah,
it happens a ton. You know, it should have May should have made Seattle pay on an over route.
There's a couple of them.
Right, where, you know, safeties are holding the hash and here comes the over route, and it was just a bad ball.
Yeah.
Right. But like you see it all the time, even at the highest levels.
That's interesting. I think there's a sense, especially in the secondary, and we can end on this, but I think there's a sense a lot of times where you get this sense that, hey,
that's true, JP. Some guys tackling does come a lot more natural for some.
For sure. Yeah. No, I think that makes sense.
Just natural tacklers.
I think we get this sense as a fan base a lot of times of, hey, if a guy is a good enough athlete, this is the Jeremiah Charles question, right? Is we think like, oh, he's got all these times and whatever, you can just mold him. I think it's for some reason, I think we do it a lot with the secondary. If they meet physical traits of X, Y, Z, they're like, oh, we'll be fine. They'll figure it out eventually. And like, I just think there's way more gap between, hey, this guy is 6'2" and 198 pounds and, or whatever you want him at.
Yeah. There's a big difference between archetypes of like Rondé Barber and let's say Antonio Cromartie.
Yeah. Like
Right.
those are very different body types.
Yeah. Or Sauce Gardner and Aaron Glenn.
Yeah. But I don't know that, like, I think we see a guy and we see a profile and we see physical traits and we're like, oh, he'll figure it out. And like, I just think the gap between
A lot of it is the techniques that we're talking about, like, whether you're going to catch, you're going to bail, you're going to be a half turn guy. Like,
yeah,
it just depends on how you like to play it. And then you can get into the player specific and what his attributes are.
Yeah.
Like you can look at a guy and say, hey, listen, the closer he is to the wide receiver, the better off he's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Some guys just like to play with their hands and they'll press and touch any chance they get. Some guys, they rather bail and be off ball guys. So it's important though, that the secondary coach like plays to those kinds of strengths if you're not going to teach it.
Yeah. And I think it goes to kind of to your point, knowing what the end result is supposed to look like goes a long way in A, who you're trying to bring in, and B, who you try and get on the field.
Yeah.
As opposed to just being like, oh, I think this guy's good. Let's try and get him out here. Let's try and teach. Like, knowing what the end result's supposed to look like is really important.
Yeah.
I think
It speeds up development.
That's
for doggone sure.
I think that's for sure as well. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lula. Don't forget, you've got plenty of games to watch over the weekend. Make sure you get out to Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill to do that.
I'd start with eating.
Oh, they got the good food.
The food is good.
They got the good food. They got the good TV setup. You got wings. I know you're a big wings guy. You like their wings.
Oh yeah. You pay the dollar upcharge. Get them breaded.
Get them breaded. There you go. That's your advice for the day from DB. Pay the dollar upcharge. Get them breaded at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We'll be back tomorrow to wrap up the week here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
Yeah, well, Blackwoods isn't going anywhere. He's had a couple of really good starts on Sunday, so we'll keep the same rotation and have Cooper available out of the pen. And I thought he looked great. The fastball had some finish to it. He's throwing 2 breaking balls in there, mixing in the changeup. So he looked great out of the pen. I think the fastball is going to play up a little bit there. And I'm not saying that's going to be his role moving forward, but I think you could see a potential for him to slide into maybe the day after Blackwoods. Maybe he throws Tuesday. But we'll have him available out of the pen to help us win on the weekend.
Well, the first part of your question, I was kind of on the tad end of that portal window, so got a chance to meet Jasir while he was here on his visit, and then some things family-wise happened, and I got a chance to do some things over Zoom calls with Owen. But You always watch film prior to see what those guys' strengths and weaknesses are. But looking at those guys, they bring an explosive element to the table. They also bring a leverage element to the table. And not saying that because of their height, but because sometimes a guy may be 6'1", but play like he's 6'5". But those guys in that 6'1" to 6'2" range, but play with great leverage and good knee bend. So those aspects of explosiveness, the power, and then strong hands as well that they bring to the table. And then the mentality, because it's something where you just can't shy away from contact in that position, but that's definitely something they've been doing on film in a short period of time.
No doubt. It was very, very fast. And something, to be completely honest with you, 3 years ago wasn't even close to on my radar. And I think what allows me to be comfortable in this situation is the experiences that I've had. Number one, throughout the NFL, the different coordinators that I've been a part of with Darren Rizzi, Bones, Jeremy Springer, who's with the Patriots now. You've got Phil Galliano down in New Orleans, and all those guys that I've made relationships with, still have relationships with, and can be sounding boards for me as I kind of go through the processes and the ebbs and flows of what practice schedule looks like, how to run a meeting, how to decide what information is important, what information is not important, how do you try to build a special teams culture, which isn't as challenging here because of how Coach Rule has everything set up. And, you know, our base fundamentals here are practicing really hard, giving great effort, having grit. That's a big thing that we're talking about this year. And all of those things encapsulate what we want to do and what we need to do on special teams. So having that comfortability level with those people and walking into this building and having that kind of base already set allows us
Welcome into Blue Jay Breakdown. That's Jacob Padilla. I'm Ravi Lula here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. Get a little into the Creighton basketball teams here. I say that hesitantly a little bit, but JP, how we doing?
Doing all right. Just kind of plugging along. We don't have a whole lot to talk about. Not a lot happened since the last time we talked, and what did happen wasn't great, unfortunately.
Yep. Yeah. Where would you like to start?
Oh, I guess probably just that game last night. Deja vu.
Yeah. I just gotta say, getting swept by DePaul is pretty rough.
It's not great.
It's pretty hard.
First time DePaul has beat Creighton twice since 1977-78.
Yep.
So
I don't know if you know this. They weren't in the Big East at the time.
No.
That was it was rough out here. It was tough. That's a
Greg McDermott is now 26-3 against DePaul.
And 2 of those 3 are this year.
Correct.
Was DePaul in the Big East at the time?
In 78-7?
That's a good. I have no idea.
I think so.
I don't know how long they were. They've been in the Big East.
We'll do a little sleuthing here, Shane.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's strange times. There are so many parallels to the 14-15 season, which shout out to Matt Zimmernis, who was making that comp before the season started, just based on some of the things he had seen in the preseason.
Yeah, I struggle there because
yes, and that's what Joe's subject, Jay's classic, and Matt and I just he talked about that within a little group between the 3 of us, and kind of brought it back up mid-season. Like, it ended up playing out that way, but there's a lot of stuff happened that we couldn't have projected, whereas that 2014-15 team was kind of just what it was.
Yes.
This is a compromised version of this team.
So the results are going to end up being similar. First losing season since that team.
Yep.
And only the second one in the Greg McDermott era here at Creighton. But going into the season, incredibly different narratives.
Yes.
Right? I mean, obviously this was preseason ranked Creighton this year. They were top 3 in the Big East. They were really consensus top 3 in the Big East. It was Creighton, St. John, or it was UConn, St. John's, and then Creighton, right? And so, I think just from a pure talent level, we're talking about very different things. Going into 14-15, everybody knew, hey, this is a Valley roster playing in the Big East. This might not go great. And it didn't. But also, and this is maybe, I don't know if this is a hot take, I would 100 times out of 100, I think, prefer to watch that 14-15 team because they absolutely 100% maximized what they were capable of. It was like that team I didn't find difficult to watch despite the losses. I actually kind of enjoyed watching that team. There were likable guys on there. It's the one year we had of Ricky Krecklow. I really enjoyed watching him play basketball for Creighton. You had early Toby Hegner. You had some Isaiah Zierden sprinkled in there. You had the last year of Austin Chapman. Like, there were enjoyable guys to watch on that roster that I think truly maximized. Like, they had no business being in a lot of the games they were in. So I get the results are going to be similar, but these 2 teams could not. That's the only way these teams feel similar to me in any way.
What conference was DePaul in?
Independent.
There you go. They probably belong there. Just stay over there, DePaul.
Independent, and then they were in something called the GMWC, which I don't know what the Great Midwest Conference, which apparently lasted for like 5 years. Then Conference USA, they joined the Big East in 05-06.
And Metro Conference too. Yeah.
When were they in the Metro Conference, Shane?
Which later merged into the Metro Conference in 95.
Oh, the Great Midwest Conference. Gotcha. Okay. They got out when it turned into the Metro Conference. They bailed.
Yeah.
95 was their last year. They're like, deuces, we're going to Conference USA. But no, I understand the comparison. I think these are vastly different teams.
Oddly enough, I saw someone invoke Ricky Krecklow with some of the plays that Hudson Greer made last night.
I loved watching Ricky Krecklow. I felt bad for him because I felt like he deserved a better Creighton team to be on.
Especially like the path that he took to end up at Creighton and the opportunities he turned down.
Yes.
And, Yeah, it's tough. This, like you said, that team kind of maximized, got what they could. This team, for whatever reason, and these guys do like each other. Like, there's not fighting away from the court or whatever. Like, all indications are they're super tight. They've really stuck together through a whole lot of adversity this season.
I mean, you don't beat UConn last week if you're not. If you don't like each other.
Yeah. It just doesn't translate to the court for whatever reason. And this group of players just doesn't click. And it's hard. And the thing is, like, I don't know. It's got to be hard to game plan when you have no idea what you're getting from anybody in any given game. From game to game, you don't know what to expect. Like,
from literally anyone on the roster.
The effort level from, like, Josh Dix and Jason Green, you know those guys are going to give you everything they've got.
But
the
productivity,
production, the number, like,
no idea.
Even with those guys, you don't know what you're going to get. And
there are literally no constants on this team.
And the way that this DePaul game ended, kind of, those were the two guys that were involved in the play that they busted the coverage on and gave up a wide open layup. And it's just wild. Like, going back to this game in particular, like, it played out so differently from the first one.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, DePaul led for 16 minutes or so of, Creighton led for about 60 minutes. It was kind of back and forth, but DePaul dominated in the paint. They got to the layup, got to the rim at will. Creighton did not. They were 1 for 6 on layups, just no physicality. They weren't able to enforce their will at all. They just stayed in the game by raining threes, and DePaul couldn't throw it in the ocean.
Yeah, that was the like 10 for 16,
14
for
half. 20. Yeah, well, yeah, they finished 14 for 27 the game. 10, it might have been, I think 10 for 16 was the first half.
Yeah,
but 46 of 12 in the paint. Yeah. It was 14-14 in the paint in the first half.
Yeah.
So Creighton scored more points in the first half than they did in the entire game.
And it ended up being basically even. Yes, 32-28.
It was and Creighton was +5 at the free throw line.
Yeah.
So complete wash there.
Evens out. Yeah, absolutely.
Fortunately, DePaul also nailed 10 threes, same as Creighton. So that was also a wash, which anytime you make the same number of threes as DePaul, like, that's going to be an issue for Creighton.
Not great. And I mean, Creighton actually won offensive rebounds and total rebounds.
Yeah. And those are
very different
points
games.
off turnovers too.
Yes.
And it's kind of weird because Creighton's turnovers and the points it produced were really important to the game swinging the way it did and allowing DePaul back in the game. So even though that Creighton ended up with +7 in points off turnovers, it still felt like that was, I mean, even the Creighton guys said it, like that they felt like that was the difference in the game.
They were all crucial.
Yeah. And that allowed DePaul to get into a rhythm with the easy buckets and the broken play shots and stuff, to where then they started making shots in the half court too. Creighton defended them really well in the half court in the first half for the most part. And I mean, they made 6 of their last 8 shots to end the half after Creighton had really locked them down they went 8 minutes between field goals in the first half. So like, just night and day performance execution from Creighton in the half court defensively in the first half. And then in the second half, they got into rhythm at the end of the half and then carried that over to the second. Brandon Macklin got hot, scored 19 in the second half. They were just backing down, getting to their spots. And they hit some tough shots, but they also had, like, Creighton got some good bounces in the first half that they haven't typically gotten most of the season. DePaul got a few of those in the second. And there were some crazy sequences that ended up resulting in with DePaul open 3 or whatever, despite great effort from Creighton. Again, I think that it was on Hudson play where he dove out of bounds. Like, somebody else made an extra effort. They got an open 3 in transition, didn't go down. Some weird stuff happened, and then DePaul ended up with a 3 on the other end. So, like, sequences like that were just backbreaking in this game that was so close. But despite how differently it played out, they ended up in almost exactly the same spot as they did in the first one, where, all right, you need one stop here. Can you get it? This time they got a chance to answer, whereas the DePaul one was really kind of, I mean, it wasn't at the buzzer, but it was, Creighton didn't really get a real offensive possession after that. It was just kind of Graves trying to create something out of nothing. But still, they got a chance. And similar to the first time, they defended the first action really well and forced a reset. They, again, Macklin was backing guys down, getting to his spots all game long. And then Zugic, he tried to do it again on Dix, and Zugic dug down and tied him up. Unfortunately, the arrow was pointing DePaul's way. So they got it back, 10 on the shot clock, ran their, set up their play from the sideline and threw it in for a handoff. Macklin threw it into NJ Benson for the handoff and then followed it to come take the ball. And Jason Green, like, tries to switch, hard hedge, whatever. Josh Dix, like, hesitates and then goes to, like, he was trying to go underneath and stay attached. And then Benson just rolls. And on the backside, Fedor Zugic and Blake Harper are both hugging their man. Nobody tagged, uncontested layup, except for Zugic running over late and fouling him for an and one.
Yeah, at the very end. Which
so he missed the free throw, so it didn't matter. But, like, just talking to him afterward, like, sounded like Josh was saying they weren't trying to trap the ball or weren't supposed to jump at it. They were just trying to stay underneath and stay in front of them. So he said they accidentally, like, he said they accidentally trapped the big, which they didn't really trap the big, but just like we accidentally trapped, like, they went back to a different coverage than they were supposed to run in that moment, which, I mean, it is.
It's sort of a microcosm for the entire season.
Well, and so it kind of seems like Green was the one that made the wrong play there. Although I think Dix also was like, "Oh, what do I do now?" and kind of froze a little bit because it wasn't what they were supposed to do. And it's kind of funny because on practice on Monday, I like overheard Jason like saying like I forgot I was the 5. Like he did whatever the 4 was supposed to do on a possession, I think. And
so you do wonder
and he was at the 5 at the time. And it's like, honestly, surprised that doesn't happen more often because like all the different things that he's had to do, the roles that he's had to play and bouncing back and forth between so many spots. So it's understandable. Like that Creighton's played so many different defenses and tried so many random things this season. It's almost understandable. Like, oh, second nature. Like, they've been more aggressive with their ball screen coverages, their interchange coverages recently. And so like that can't happen in that situation, but it's your it's
also kind of understandable.
2 most experienced veteran, reliable guys are the 2 involved in the play. And even they can't quite execute it perfectly on the biggest stage. So it's again, same thing happened in DePaul the first time where Dix initially got the stop, forced a timeout to save a turnover. And then they change something. They go with the matchup zone and Dix just stays too long in one area, gets himself out of position trying to close out, and they were able to get to the rim and finish. So it's just eerie the parallels between the 2. And then obviously Creighton had 2 shots at it on the other end and got what they were trying to get. Did you have something more to say on the defense before we go on to the offense?
It was just real quick. It was just kind of a microcosm of the entire season. It was just guys not being on the same page.
Yes, 100%.
Right? Like that's just
100%.
Like Jason Green was doing one thing, Josh Dix was doing another thing, Blake Harper and Fedor Zugic were doing a third thing, and maybe 2 of those things matched up, but all 3 certainly did it.
Correct.
Whoever's fault it is, I don't even know, right? Like maybe Josh Dix heard the call wrong and they were supposed to we don't know. So, but at least one of those factors was not on the same page with the other 2. And like, that's just the whole season, right? The whole season is, oh, well, that looked good there for a minute, but then we're on a different page here. And then like, oh, that looked okay, but what? Then we fell apart. Like it was just the entire season, I think could be summed up in they've just never been on the same page for long enough for it to matter. And that's exactly what we saw. They were on the same page until the tie-up, right?
Yep.
And then after the tie-up, they weren't on the same page for long enough for it to matter.
It's exact. So they were able, one effort, they're able to be locked in, connected for one effort. Then they had to do it again on second straight play, and they weren't able to do it. It's just play to play, game to game. It just doesn't click for whatever reason. They just have never been able to figure out how to get everybody on the same page consistently. I mean, trust me. The coaches have tried. They've been trying since these guys got here. It's not like the guys aren't. It's not necessarily that they're not listening and not trying. It's just it isn't
not
working.
Clicking. Just
Exactly.
not clicking. And I think a lot of times it's easy to point. You mentioned, a lot of times there's a fracture or something when this doesn't happen. That doesn't appear to be the case. It doesn't appear to be an effort issue. It doesn't appear to be a buy-in issue. Like it is for whatever reason just this kind of unique situation where they're bought in, they care, they like each other, and it still just isn't working. And it's honestly one of the stranger dynamics. And I think you have to go to, you know, what they expected this team to be, whether it's Owen Freeman or Jackson McAndrew, or, you know, whether they were going to play Hudson Greer or not, you know, whatever they thought was going to happen for this team, they ended up with a very different team. So that's the only explanation I can think of. I've got a bigger picture question, but let's get to the offensive series first after DePaul took the lead.
Yeah, and so first possession, like they get transition, go down, call the timeout. First possession, just run a ball screen with Benson, with Harper, with Benson on him, screening for Graves to get the switch, to try to create a mismatch and to go ISO. Like that was the play they were called. That's what they were trying to do. They got it. Graves spun his way to the basket, tried the scoop extension finish, and just
pretty good look, tough finish, but
left it short. Like if that's the shot you're taking, that situation, like they ultimately kind of got what they wanted. Yeah. He just wasn't able to make the play. Yeah. And so the question is that mismatch hunting in that situation, mismatch hunting ISO, is that what you would like to see them go to? And probably not, but at the same time, like Josh Dix had just hit a big three a couple of possessions ago. Do you want him getting a touch in that situation? That being said, kind of like I was going back and forth with somebody on this. Have they really executed their half-court sets? So that's their off-ball stuff. Like, what is your best play to get Josh Dix a look? And can you execute it? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or is it? And you see so much of this, like late in halves or whatever, or late in games where coaches they go into the ISO, they go into like
the simplest thing they can do
because there are fewer variables. Yeah. It's less you have to worry about because you worry about timing and all that stuff.
Less has to go right.
Exactly.
A lot of times you can get bailed out with a foul call, which Nick Graves had done several times in the course of the second half. Like there's fewer things that can go wrong and about the same number of things that can go right.
Yeah. So just fewer moving pieces. Like you're a little bit more in control if this is just what you do.
Especially if you're Creighton and haven't done a lot of those things well.
Yes.
Right. Like it's different if you're Creighton 2 or 3 years ago and you're like, hey, we execute our half court sets with incredible efficiency. Like that's not the case this year. I don't have a problem with the play call in that situation. I really don't.
Yep. But so leaves it short. Great effort from Jason Green to tap it out, and Blake Harper goes over there and grabs it. At that point, kind of dribbles over the quarter, passes to Graves. There, nothing really happening, and then they get the timeout call with 3.3 left. They attack Benson. The way it played out was exactly what the call was,
100%,
and what they were trying to get,
and got a look, probably a better look.
Inbounded to Harper, popping to the elbow with Benson on him, kind of like looked to his left and then spun back over his right shoulder to get to that left hand. Got downhill. He got a step on him. He kind of rounded out his drive and then tried to jump sideways into him. And honestly, like Benson wasn't in legal guarding position necessarily, but Harper also jumped so far sideways into him. It's like, you're not going to get that call in that situation.
Also, there wasn't very much contact. So this is the part that's frustrating to me, is it felt like he had beat Benson by enough that Benson wasn't really even in a good position to foul him.
He was turned backwards. Like the contact was a little bit of like his back hip.
Yes.
Because he had,
if he just goes to the rim, that's an open layup.
Yeah. But kind of the route he took, and then the decision to jump sideways as far as he did, trying to create the contact, and just leaves it short.
Yep.
And like that's a situation where you got what you wanted, and again, he just wasn't able to execute. Those are, two guys between them. Harper was 0 for 2. That was his only shot at the rim. And Graves was 2 for 9, 2 for 6 on twos in that game. Did most of his damage from the free throw line.
Yeah.
So just, I don't like you kind of got what you wanted, but also with guys that hadn't made those shots most of the game, it's like, but where do you go? Again, who is going to be able to get a good look with 3.3 to go, especially considering like the defensive matchups and where you wanted to attack? they got what they wanted and just didn't make the play. And
because you probably don't want Josh Dix. I mean, you don't want Josh Dix to like ISO somebody.
And I think he had gun on him. He's 6'7", long arms. Like
that's not a good option. I mean, maybe you go to Fedor. Like maybe that's pretty much, unless you're going to Fedor or Swartz, who was 1 for 4.
And
didn't play much.
Shut them in for the last play for spacing purposes instead of Fedor, I believe. But
but like if you're going to go to someone else, it's probably one of those two guys. And Fedor had a better night than the rest of the guys we're talking about here in terms of actually shooting the ball. So I don't know, maybe that's an option there, but
down one, you don't necessarily want to run a play for a 3 either.
Yeah.
So and Fedor, he can get to the rim, but he's very much a straight line, situational driver, not a guy that's going to create his own.
Yeah, it's like attacking off a closeout, things like that. Like maybe if you get him into a pick and roll, he can get there if you get an advantage. But, so there wasn't a lot of good options. They got to the rim twice and missed 2 layups. And if Harper just does go to the hoop, he probably, the chance of him making that layup are pretty high.
Or even more on balance, as opposed to jumping as far as he did. Again, he gave himself a tough angle because of kind of the rounded drive and wasn't able to get into Benson's body and cut him off that way. And we've seen him, we've seen him make shots like this in the past, but we've also seen him try to create contact and not be able to finish at the same time. So it's like, he's a hard read. Like, I don't really know.
And he's an untraditional driver, right? Like he's not a guy that beats his man straight up very often.
And it's weird because like in plays, the touch and strength look incredible. And there are others where like flail wildly out of control type of shots that would.
I think he's a guy that almost needs the contact to sort of ground him towards what he's trying to do when there isn't contact. Yeah. It's almost like when you see guys pull the chair in a post up, like it seems like some of his drives, it feels like somebody pulled the chair when they're not willing to just stick on his hip and give him the contact that he wants. There wasn't necessarily a better option. You got to the rim 2 times and just weren't able to do it. But it's, again, kind of a microcosm of this team. You don't know what you're going to get at any given time from any given player. And it kind of leads me to, and then we'll get to the women after this, as they haven't played, but they've got a game tonight.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
To the point though, what you said, and again, shout out Jay's Classic here. He put this out there. 3-3 in games decided by 1 possession. Creighton could easily could be 17-12 as it could be 11-8 right now. Mm-hmm. But it's right in the middle and kind of water finds level. This is what this team is.
Yeah, it's probably about right.
It's inconsistent.
Yeah, like you've got 2 buzzer beaters on the year. Yeah. Those can easily go the other way. And, I don't sit here and say this after we've seen it play out. I can't sit here and say, oh, this team should have 17, 18 wins. I sit here and go, this team seems a little fortunate to have 14 wins at certain points. But I do have to ask, and I haven't heard a ton of people talk about this, and I don't want this to be like hot takey or disparaging at all, but there is sort of a unique coaching staff situation this year that is a variable that we haven't really discussed and that didn't exist last year. Yeah. We don't know how long Coach Mac's going to be around. You have a head coach in waiting in Al Huss, which I think everybody's excited about. Yeah. Like, everybody loves Al Huss. I was happy when they brought him back. I thought that was a good get. I still do. But I also wonder, it's certainly, I think, more collaborative than the baseball situation might have been a couple of years ago. But
100%.
I also wonder, is the extra voice in basically the same level of leadership part of why things maybe didn't come to, because it's literally the first time things didn't come together on a Greg McDermott team at Creighton, at least, right? So you wonder, is there just enough of a 2 leaders, you have no leaders situation? I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of, because all the other variables that we have talked about don't seem to be true.
Yeah. Yeah. That's hard to answer. At practice, just from what I've observed, it's not like they're contradicting each other.
Sure.
Huss will check with Mac on certain things or whatever, but then also in normal situations, the coaches don't always agree. And
yes, for sure.
There's always some kind of back and forth. Mac ultimately takes input from everybody, but then he's the one making the final decisions. And so yeah, I don't know. Like,
it's just literally the only variable left I can think of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The other variable is just the players,
Yeah.
and the group that they put together, and having to replace so much because of the recruiting misses over the last few years.
Sure.
That they had to bring in so many different guys at this one time during a transition period that was already going to be difficult because of the guys they were losing. They just didn't have enough behind those guys to fill in and carry forward any sort of continuity.
Yeah.
So it was a complete restart. And even the guys that are back have done their best to try to teach the Creighton culture, and Mac has praised those guys for what they've done, but it's just hard for that to really sink in, especially when some of those guys are kind of fringe rotation players and things like that, not necessarily the guys in the featured roles. So just a tough situation. And then obviously the injuries as well. And the season, you can't make up some of the stuff that's happened this year. So Freeman didn't play in this game. Max said he's going to be out, almost sure they're going to be out Saturday.
Yeah.
He was fine. He had a good practice on Monday. Fine, looked good. Was probably going to play in this game with Benson and their size or whatever. And then on Tuesday, I wasn't there, but just a freak. Just happened to be standing in the wrong place, got hit in just the right way to do some kind of damage to him. And now he's out for this whole week. And then we'll see next week. Just another, like, you can't make up all the stuff that's happened to that dude this year.
Yeah.
And then that, again, causes another adjustment that Creighton has to make. And who knows, maybe it could have helped in this game. I mean, Karam Konan played well in the first half, gave him some really good minutes. Second half, not as much. And it's always going to be a mistake here or there with him out there as he's trying to learn. So just unfortunate spot to be in. And the implications of this game were pretty massive as you look to the conference tournament standings and seeding. DePaul is the team directly behind Creighton, running them down. And after that game, they're tied in the loss column. Creighton's half a game up in the win column. So, and now DePaul has the tiebreaker by winning both games. So if Creighton wants to hold on to that 5 spot, they need some help, and they've got to take care of business on their own. They're still like they would have with a win. You're half a game back in the loss column of Seton Hall for that 4th spot, and instead now you're half a game up on the 6th spot, and again without the tiebreaker. And you just kind of like that was huge for Creighton trying to hold on to, like, to stay out of that first day competition in the Big East tournament. So Creighton, these are pretty. Creighton's got to go win these last 2 games. It's that simple to have to hold on to that spot. You can't just hope that DePaul is going to lose out with the way they're playing this season. And heck, that Providence game is important too, because Providence, they've got 11 losses, so they're only a game back in the loss column. So this is a huge one on Saturday, final home game. A lot on the line in terms of standings and trying to stay in that top 5.
Yeah, I mean, they're Creighton in 5th place, technically, with the half game lead over DePaul, is only 2 games in the loss column above last place Xavier. Right. So like there's the margin for them to fall out of that spot is not big, and they've got Providence and Butler to finish up.
KenPom right now projects Creighton to finish 9-11 and DePaul and Providence to go 8-12. So like that's very easily could go one way or the other. And also projects Seton Hall to go 10-10. So you'd won that game, then you got a chance to very easily like that 4 spot. That was kind of the rallying cry we heard from McDermott leading into the game. Talk about, hey, we still got a lot to play for. We're trying to get that 4th spot. We're not giving up on that. We're trying to hold on to this 5th spot at worst and not have to play that first day in New York. And now with this loss, that becomes much more complicated and puts so much pressure on these last 2 games.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else on the men before we switch over to the women's?
No, I don't think so.
All right. The women have not played since we spoke last. They beat Butler 67-58 last week. They've got Providence coming up tonight at home. Got one of those nice 8:00 tips, late start for you. Just thoughts on, has anything changed for you in terms of what we discussed last week for the women?
probably a good time to have the break that they did with Neely Gesser getting banged up on the last one. Hopefully that she'll be ready to go and they'll be at as close to full strength as they can be at this point, considering the season-ending injuries they've already sustained. But similar to the men, this is a really important game. Like they have to finish strong. Right now, they're pretty locked into that 6th spot. If they lose to Providence here, then it gets a little interesting because that would drop them to 9 and 10. Providence 8 and 11. So obviously they've got a few games left. But I mean, it's they got just Marquette left after that. So I mean, it's they feel pretty locked into that. They're like they're half.
They're 2 games up on Providence.
Yeah,
and
I was just looking at the math wrong. So
game and a half back on Marquette.
Yeah, so if Creighton would have to lose out for Providence to pull even with them with these last 2 games. So basically, they can clinch that 6th spot if they beat Providence. Yeah, is what is on the line in this game. They probably Marquette's probably not losing to Providence, so you're probably not tracking them down.
Yeah, probably
either.
not getting any help there.
So it is still important though, just to get this win, to lock that spot in and feel good going in. Don't provide any room for something weird happen and dropping down a spot there. So
because of that, again, if they lose to Providence tonight, Providence would have the sweep and the tie break for the standings there, so they would drop. They would drop down if they end up tying again.
Yeah, if they were able to knock off Marquette and steal that one. So big one on the line tonight. Hopefully they're healthy and they can because they've got Xavier the last one. They're down there tied for last. That's at Xavier though, so you got to go on the road. So I mean, favorable finish here for this season. They got through the tough stretch.
Yeah,
and so like again, a 6th place finish in the Big East going into the season, and especially the way the season started. I think Jim Flannery would love that. Like, yep, I'll take that, lock that in. We'll be good. That's something we can build off of, and then see what they can do in the Big East tournament, how the bracket shakes out there, and then kind of move forward into the offseason.
Well, especially if they can win their last 2, they'd have a 3-game winning streak. They'd be 11-9 in conference, above 500. They'd be 15-14 overall, above 500. Like
higher seed in that first round of the tournament.
Yep. Like you would be looking at a team that has, we've kind of talked about this since we started doing these, that has really been able to build on some of the positives. Honestly, kind of the exact opposite of the men's team, where like every time you get a positive, it kind of feels like the floor falls out. This women's team's been able to build on the positives whenever they've been able to get them. And yeah, you're going to end up with similar records between the men's and women's teams, but I think you feel dramatically different about the women's team going into the Big East tournament as opposed to the men's.
Yeah. And I mean, they get that 6th spot. You face the 11 in the first round. That's obviously a game that you can win because you beat those teams. And then you're looking at Seton Hall is the 3 seed. If they win that first round game, like that's a team that you can beat.
Yeah.
So you got a chance to obviously make a run here before you run into UConn.
Yeah.
So just see if they can build some good momentum here to close out the season, get some good vibes going into the off season, and then hopefully get healthy for next season. Add the new players, Maya Moore, who was at the senior day game. Dropped another 50 piece.
That's pretty good.
What's 3rd time maybe this second or third
at
time?
At least second.
Yeah.
I know it's at least the second.
Yeah.
There might be, for some reason, I think there's like a 49.
Yeah.
It might be 2 and a 49.
Something like that. Yeah.
I'll count it.
Yeah.
I'll count it as a 50 piece.
So yeah, that's on the way.
Yeah.
To add to kind of what they established this year, to see kind of what Neely Gesser and Ava Zediker can do to close out their freshman seasons. Obviously, they've done some pretty special things for first-year players in this program so far, and a few more chances to kind of build on that.
You look at this team, and I believe they've beaten every team in the league except UConn and Villanova, right?
I believe so.
So they beat Seton Hall at the beginning of this month on the road. So you mentioned if that's their second round matchup, that's a game they can absolutely win. They
swept St. John's. They got Marquette.
You know, like every one of these teams is a team that Creighton can beat, except UConn. And not that they can't beat Villanova, but they didn't during the regular season. But those were both 10, 11-point games.
Yeah.
I think the exact same score, right? Yep. So that's a team you're at least in the neighborhood of.
Yeah.
You know, so you look at this, you go, hey, like you feel pretty good, especially if you can get Neely healthy. You feel pretty good about how things are shaping up last couple games and then heading into the tournament. So that's the women's side of things. We miss anything?
I don't think so.
All right. That is Blue Jay Breakdown. That's Jacob. I'm Ravi. We will be back next week, hopefully with some more wins, but certainly with at least some more games to talk about here on Blue Jay Breakdown. Don't forget, join DB and I tomorrow on Hurrdat Sports Live to wrap up your week. We'll be back later.